section just in case. We are busy all over, light to mostly moderate traffic everywhere. We'll keep you updated. If you got less than perfect credit, McKenna Nissan may have the plan for you. Talk to David Martin. He will do everything possible to have you driving today. McKenna Nissan, exit 212 off I-65 in Clanton. Buckle up with Jay Montgomery Skywatch traffic.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
I suffered with plantar fasciitis for almost 20 years. I would try drugstore insoles and supports.
If you suffer with plantar fasciitis, we know the search for pain relief can feel like a hopeless ordeal.
I've been through surgeries, foot injections. I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life.
At the Good Feet store, we hear stories every day of all kinds of cheap inserts, expensive shoes, and other failed remedies people have tried that just didn't work.
I was trying all different things. Not a single one worked. And then I was driving past the Good Feet store, and I thought, why not? Give it a try. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support for my feet. Then it was like, okay, this is different. These make a difference.
I'm so glad I met Good Feet. That changed my life.
Don't lose hope. Give the Good Feet store a try.
We're located at 7341 East Chase Parkway in the shops at East Chase. Now hiring.
Paid for by McGinnis for Alabama, 203 Investment Lane, Summerdale, Alabama, 36580.
Hillary! Hillary! I'm really feeling my pain. I sure could use a 5-point plan right now.
I'm Christina Warner McKinnis, and we all need the 5-point plan for Alabama farms and families. Better food security. They should be able to buy Alabama rotisserie chicken with SNAP benefits, not margarita mix. Guide more farmers to the millions of dollars in grants they deserve. Protect our farmland from China and promote sweet-grown Alabama for tourism. We need more Alabama food on the plates of our schools and home. It's time to tell the politicians in Montgomery, same old is not working for us.
Christina Warner McKinnis for Agriculture.
I haven't asked the big guy yet, but I have a feeling he'll like the plan.
This 5-point plan is huge, very special. And believe me, I know the 5-point plan. And all the other 5-point plans are horrible, probably made in China.
If you're a local business owner doing digital marketing, quick question, are you getting the results you should be? At Blue Water Broadcasting, we see clients every day who thought their digital was working okay until we showed them a more cost-effective way to run their digital. With 7 radio stations and a full suite of digital solutions, we offer everything from search ads and social media to targeted OTT display and more. We don't just run ads, we build strategic campaigns that drive real results. Before you renew another contract, talk to us. Visit bluewaterbroadcasting.com.
Live local talk, the River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Real men of genius. Real men of genius. Today we salute you, Mr. Not Ready for Memorial Day. Mr. Not Ready for Memorial Day. Very soon, you'll be required to put on a swimsuit and parade your 230-pound beer and nacho storage facility around the lake. Haven't lost my winter fat. As you frolic in the water, it occurs to everyone that with a couple of nipple rings, you could serve as a human boat dock. Everyone ashore now. You're not just providing shade for sunbathers. Let's face it, the last time something blocked out this much sun, the dinosaurs disappeared. Dinosaurus Rex now. So go ahead, see if your 1,000-pound ass can influence the tide. Do a cannonball and force the entire state to live in FEMA trailers. Because after all, sooner or later, the Coast Guard will lure you out to sea with whale song. Mr. Not Ready for Memorial Day.
That's a classic. We get to pull out all of our holiday weekend stuff, and we're getting a head start on it with the heat and humidity today. I don't know if we take a quick look, see if there's any. Some of the clouds were building up to a pretty high level, and with the dew point as high as it is, I'm wondering, don't I sound like Rich? These are the terms you need to learn and throw around at random. A lot of spotty shower and thunderstorm activity to the south, and it is marching up this way, although most of it seems to be headed towards like downtown Montgomery and then west of the city. So cool. Let's take a look at the news app, see what they're hawking and trying to. There's so much to talk about as far as topical stuff, including David's blog this morning, that basically modern youth wants to kill all the boomers. So we'll, I'm sure, get into that. The massive losses. One of the great wins over the weekend was in Louisiana, where Cassidy got his ass kicked, finished third. The current senator there. One of the guys that voted for the sham impeachment. What a piece of crap. In Congress, you need to expunge that, because we all know it was nothing but politics and lies and based on false information and Russia collusion. And you put us through all of that for 2 years. In the meantime, I'm also going to be tapping David for his best take on what's happening in the Iran with Gulf and gas prices, because all the good stuff he's accomplishing, using, taking China, putting the show he put on there. And by the way, we'll hear from Jeff Bezos. He was not happy to be excluded from that journey. If the gas prices don't come down and the subsequent increases on everything else that depends on gas prices, the rest of the agenda is going to go out the window. Nobody's going to care. That's just a hard fact. And he's partly to blame for it in the sense that he's, at the beginning, expect 2 to 4 weeks. Was that February or March he said that? And every time I drive by a gas station, the prices are another 5 or 10 cents a gallon higher. And it's got to change. He's got to figure a way to do something, but what, I don't know. But David is the guy we...
Yeah, this week is going to be breaking point, because like you said, it's not just about gas anymore. It's CPI, it's bond markets, it's everything. Yeah, we'll wait till David hops in, but interesting developments today. So I think this is breaking point week. So you'll see it go one way or another, and unfortunately it's up to Iran. And
we people don't understand. We're dealing with a barbaric, I don't see how you negotiate with people.
Yeah, they're not negotiating; they're just stalling, and it's
and
all
while they're
about
stalling, they're getting more weapons, and they're continuing to disrupt whatever progress may be made.
Yep, and the right now, I'm even it's all about pride for them. They don't want to surrender. They don't want to admit they lost. It's an ego thing, unfortunately, and then their people are suffering because of that. But
now, young man, can I dispatch you on a mission of mercy?
Ooh.
Can you pull our list off the printer?
I would be happy to. I'll be back lickety-split.
Lickety-split. When was the last time you heard that term? And other things like I'm rooting for Spencer Pratt in the L.A. mayoral race, but it doesn't look like a Republican's going to be the next governor of California, because Javier Becerra, see, they had to find somebody with a Hispanic last name that they could shove in there, even though his credentials are weak. Phone call. Good afternoon.
Hey, it's Soldier Boy.
Okay, we only got a minute here.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Why is gas so high when we're, like the president says, we can stand on our own? We don't need no gas from anybody else. Why is the Wall Street dictating the damn price?
We will ask David about that. I promise. He's going to be joining us in just a few minutes. Right now we have Blue Water News, and we'll be back with David right after.
News is brought to you by Budget Floors and More, your new best friend.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. Another violent weekend in the capital city. 3 people were injured in 3 separate Saturday night shootings in Montgomery. These incidents are just 3 of 5 separate shootings that occurred in less than 24 hours beginning Friday evening in Montgomery. An Alexander City man was killed in a single vehicle crash Saturday morning. 29-year-old William Hatcher was driving a pickup truck that left the road and struck a tree. Hatcher was not using a seatbelt at the time of the crash and was pronounced dead at the scene. The accident happened on Cooley Creek Road, approximately 2 miles south of Alexander City. Alabama voters will go to the polls tomorrow for the 2026 primary elections. Tuesday's primary will determine who represents the Republican and Democratic parties heading into the November midterms. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow. Voters will need to present a valid form of identification. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Delray Publix.
We all know what the career politicians do when an outsider takes them on. It happened to President Trump. As soon as he started winning, the lies and the desperate attacks started. Now they're going after Jared Hudson because the career politicians know he'll drain the swamp, and he's winning. Jared Hudson is a decorated Navy SEAL sniper. He started a small business to train law enforcement and a nonprofit that fights human traffickers. Jared's a seventh-generation Alabamian, husband and father, running for Senate on the America First platform, securing our elections, deporting criminals, protecting children, and hitting the career politicians where it hurts. Term limits, stock trading bans, and if they don't pass a budget, they don't get paid. No wonder the insiders are scared. Jared Hudson for U.S. Senate. Alabama Conservatives is responsible for the content of this advertising. Paid for by Alabama Conservatives. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.alabamaconservativespac.com.
Welcome to Eclectic Coins, Montgomery's largest coin dealer, specializing in buying and selling investment-grade gold and silver coins. And they have a large selection of rare coins and coins from around the world. Visit them at 543 Northeastern Boulevard or on the web at eclecticcoins.com. Eclectic Coins, where collectors who know go.
This May 19th, vote for Jim Ziegler for Alabama Public Service Commission. Jim knows what to do.
Alabama has been targeted by massive data centers and solar farms. They can ruin your community and drive your electric bills up. No one in Montgomery is overseeing this. I'm Jim Ziegler, and I will serve as your watchman on the Public Service Commission.
Jim Ziegler knows how the Alabama Public Service Commission works, and he knows how to make it work for Alabama families.
I'm Jim Ziegler, the watchman. I've been traveling the state listening to voters and your problem. Your power bill is too high. When I'm elected to the Public Service Commission, I will fight to lower your power bills. Vote for me, Jim Ziegler, the watchman for PSC.
On May 19th, vote for Jim Ziegler for Alabama Public Service Commission. Paid by Jim Ziegler Campaign, 3071 Teal Court, Mobile, Alabama.
Alabama needs a fighter for Attorney General, and that's Katherine Robertson. She passed the toughest gang law in the country and made violent criminals serve longer sentences. As Attorney General, she'll stand with President Trump to deport violent illegals. Endorsed by sheriffs from Huntsville to Mobile, Alabama firefighters, and the NRA, Katherine will fight for Alabama families from day one. Tough, tested, conservative. Vote Katherine Robertson for Attorney General on May 19th.
Paid for by Robertson for Attorney General, P.O. Box 530063, Birmingham, Alabama 35253.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We've kind of jumped from a comfortable May pattern to more like a summer pattern. Partly cloudy tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 67 with the risk of a shower perhaps early. Tomorrow's high up to about 91. Lots of sunshine on Tuesday. Increasing humidity near 90 each day this week, right on through Friday. Scattered random spotty storms in the afternoon and evening hours Wednesday and Thursday. And a better chance, I think, Friday and Saturday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Delray Publix. On FM, on your smartphone, and online. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
As the 21st century began, natural selection, the process by which the strongest, the smartest, the fastest reproduced in greater numbers than the rest, a process which had once favored the noblest traits of man, now began to favor different traits. A dumbing down, How did this happen? Evolution does not necessarily reward intelligence. With no natural predators to thin the herd, it began to simply reward those who reproduced the most and left the intelligent to become an endangered species.
Welcome to the world of Idiocracy with Greg, Pamela, and experts, especially David Blackman, talking about all the latest mess. Get it off your chest and tune to the best. The tales of Idiocracy. The tales of Idiocracy. Oh, the tales of Idiocracy. It's the tales of Idiocracy.
And joining us from somewhere in Texas, probably dodging severe weather, tornadoes, whatever, but a man whose determination to join us on Monday. And am I doing well so far? The man with the 10-gallon brain, blogger extraordinaire, oil and gas industry expert. Please put your hands together for David Blackman. Haven't you
I
always
just
wanted
wanted to
be
introduce you
greeted?
guys to my good cat, Mac.
I think that is so cool.
He never lets me hold him
seems
like this. He must be really hard up for attention.
Oh, pussycat. That's what I call all cats. My cat, Calliope. Pussycat. But they all answer to that. Even the strays that run around the back of the building here. You say that, they stop and they give you immediate glare down.
I thought you were talking about your fans there for a second.
No.
They're back there too.
Couple of things, David, little business points. Our primary is tomorrow, so we have kind of an overflow of commercial messages.
Cool.
So our breaks will be a little bit longer today. We also had to figure out, obviously we're not going to be on the air Monday next week because of the holidays, so.
Oh, right. It's Memorial Day.
Yeah, and already. So we can do Tuesday if you'd like that, or if you want a day off, we can do that. I throw myself at your mercy.
Well, we've got, I know I've got a volleyball game one day next week, and I'm not sure which one it is, so I'll let you know, though.
I didn't know you were playing.
No, my granddaughter.
He's back on the circuit, folks.
Yeah, she's doing good. Her team is going to nationals, baby.
We discussed your blogs this morning very heavily before we get into the really heavy-duty stuff. Fascinating on the city population changes in their ranks.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
Unbelievable. Some of the changes that are ongoing. The blue states are hemorrhaging their people, and I imagine most of the people leaving are not the ones who are enjoying welfare and other perks. It's
Or
the people
high
with
taxes,
money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You were pointed out that South Carolina per capita is the fastest growing, even faster than Texas and Florida. But how many cities in Texas are now in the 6 out of the top 10 fastest growing cities?
No, not quite that much, but the fastest growing cities, yes.
Yeah.
There are 6 of the top 10 are in Texas. 5 of those are right here in the 4-county area where I'm in. In a little town where I'm in, Mansfield is growing very fast too. I probably just barely missed making that list because the whole area right here is just exploding with population.
But unfortunately, they're probably getting a little more purple than you'd like.
Yeah, but it's not enough to really change the complexion of the state. We do have a lot of immigration here, legal immigration into this area, which is fine.
Yeah.
I have nothing at all against legal immigration. And then we have a lot of people coming here from other states and a lot of tech companies relocating to this area, finance companies, banking industry companies relocating to Dallas. And, the Fort Worth area is the fastest growing metropolitan area.
We were shocked at those numbers.
Yeah. When I moved up here first time in 1987, there were about 450,000 people in Fort Worth. And now what was there, 1.2 million? Crazy growth. Yeah, in that period of time. And Austin when I went to school in Austin in the 1970s, it was this kind of sleepy little town in central Texas with about 250,000 people in it. Not a little town, it was a city. But now it's just solid population over across 3 different counties, and a lot of urban sprawl, unfortunately, in what was a beautiful part of the state. But I mean, it's just a beautiful place to be. A lot of lakes and rivers, and a lot like where you guys are in Alabama, right? So it's a place where people want to be.
I'm surprised by this list. I always thought Nashville was the fastest growing, but like you said, San Marcos is on there. I used to pass by that. That's between San Antonio and Austin. That used to be just a little. I mean, there's
a little bitty place. Yeah.
What's there's a college there in San Marcos.
It's called Texas State University now. It was Southwest Texas State until about 15 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. Texas is it's good.
I love seeing the
growing too fast.
Well. And I don't know if you know this, but we had the Idiocracy came to Montgomery, Alabama. I'd like to play a clip from Rally on Saturday. Now, I have to put the audition button down for this. This is the one that gives you the echo, but our listeners will want to hear
That's all right.
This great American speech.
Because it is not a coincidence, and our whole country must understand that it was not until voting rights were ratified in this country that we got the Great Society. Because when Black Americans have the right to vote and that vote is protected, our schools get funded.
That's all I can take.
What was she?
She's standing there.
What was she there for?
They picked Montgomery to protest the redistricting. They're not happy that their racist districts have been called unconstitutional by the Supreme Court.
Not before the rally, but after the fact. After the Supreme Court has ruled, we're having the rally. And Montgomery is not anywhere near on the list of fastest growing cities. In fact, we're losing 1,600 people a year.
Our market rank has dropped, because in radio, David, it used to be like this. You were always climbing the ladder to the next largest destination. When I went to South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Miami combined were like number 27 in as far as population centers. And when I left, it was number 11. So when I came to Montgomery, you're going from market 11 to number 155. So what? It's what's wrong with that? I've done just fine here. It was the smartest move I've made in my entire adult life. And I'm very happy. Nobody looks at it that way anymore.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I've got the echo again.
It's
when
off.
you made that move, that part of South Florida wasn't a great place to be.
No, it was. Look, I was about to turn 50 years old. It was congested, hostile. The New Yorkers had already conducted one invasion after 9/11, and it was just a challenge. You get so upset about the bad things that go with life down there that you were kind of... And coming here was a revelation. Nice people.
Yeah.
Lots of trees.
The Gump needed you.
I needed the Gump, I think, as much as the Gump may have needed me.
Yeah. But, David, this rally, they brought in over 100 buses with activists. It was out in our capital. Cory Booker was here. AOC, our esteemed, beloved mayor, made his presence. It was just... It was kind of a lot of show.
Did he speak?
Probably no one listened, but no, I think it was higher level politicians that spoke down there. But
I think wasn't Cory Booker here?
Cory Booker was there, AOC, but it was more of like a fun event. It looked like. I mean, they had like food trucks and like I said, after the Supreme Court ruled, I don't know what the point of having a rally is. Hard to kind of change that.
A little late, yeah.
Yeah, a little late.
And all of this stuff is great, and it's going on. Yet, because of the Iranian situation. Look, people are people, and they don't like paying over $4 for gas. They don't like the impact it's having on other prices, and it's especially grating because while I supported what he did, I was also told a time frame, and I thought by now we'd start to see oil prices start to withdraw. But David, today it's back over $100 a barrel.
Well, it went up over 100 on Friday. It actually has fallen a little bit today, but still over 100. And that means $4 gas regular in states like ours, and $6 in California, 7.
I paid $3.90 with my Circle K discount.
Yeah,
Sunday morning.
I paid. Well, I have to put premium on my stupid car, but regular gas was $3.79 where I got gas today here in North Texas, and we're kind of in a high price part of Texas because of the formulated gasoline requirements in this high population area. So I'm sure out in the countryside it's a little cheaper, maybe a nickel or a dime cheaper than that, but it's still too high. It's higher than it needs to be. And again, we get another proposal from Iran and reject it today. We're not going to have a peaceful resolution to this thing that's acceptable in any way to any of us. So we're either going to go back, and do some more military operations, or we're just going to call it a day and try to get people, distract people with other issues. And I don't know which way he's going to end up going, but there's not going to be a peaceful resolution that looks materially different than the deal Obama had with Iran, which just put them on a path to have a nuclear weapon very quickly. So,
Yeah, interesting developments today. Pakistan brought aircraft, and drones, and 8,000 troops into Saudi under a bilateral agreement. Trump called off the attack for tomorrow, so there was plans to attack tomorrow, and our allies said, hey, hold off. But like you said, David, I mean, it's not negotiating, it is stalling. It's like apples and carburetors crossing. It's like we asked for 4 pretty reasonable things, and they're like, nope, we control the straits. Now they want to set up a cryptocurrency for exchange of, their traffic flowing through their waters, and then, saying, hey, you're going to have safe passage through our waters. Okay, how are you going to enforce that? With what Navy? Like,
right.
Yeah, it's literally ridiculous. Crazy. But their president did start to capitulate today. He kind of did say, hey, we have taken great losses. We need to be honest brokers instead of saying, hey, we're prosperous, that, hey, we're actually kind of losing here. But at the very end, it did say, we're very prideful and we're not going to admit defeat. We're not going to surrender. So it's kind of like, okay, well, you're going to receive bombs, or what do you want to do here?
On the gas price issue, the president keeps asking Congress to suspend the gas tax, which is 18.4 cents on gasoline, 24.4 cents on diesel. Why are they so slow to react to this? Why are the Republicans so inept?
Well, Congress always has a hard time letting go of a tax. It doesn't matter which party's in control. This proposal has been made many times in the past during periods of inflation, and Congress has never acted to suspend that gas tax. They always pretend that it's paying for the interstate highway system, which it pays maybe 5 to 10% of what the real cost is. It was designed to do that, but the only way to keep it doing that from the 1950s, when it was raised to meet that requirement, would have been to index it to inflation. And if we had done that, well, the gas tax would be over $2 a gallon now. So that's not ever going to happen either. It's all a big charade, but Congress likes to have that revenue stream, and there's enough Republican rhinos in the House to kill any proposal to suspend it, and it's not going to happen.
We saw the beautiful slaughter of a rhino in Louisiana over the weekend.
Thank goodness.
What a wretched piece of crap that man is.
Oh, he really may have been the worst. Once Mitt Romney was gone, Cassidy really might have been the most pernicious fake Republican presence in the Senate. And of course, he's still there until January. So
wonderful.
Got 7 more months to cause problems with nominations and things like that.
God.
Like that idiot from North Carolina keeps doing. And, it just is what it is. I don't know if the lady that's going to take his place is going to be materially better. I hope she is. She had Trump's endorsement. At least she didn't vote in favor of a sham impeachment like Cassidy did, and that's what sealed his fate. So there were 7 rhinos who voted to impeach President Trump in February 2021. Now 5 of them have lost their positions, and the only 2 remaining are Susan Collins from Maine, who might get beat in her bid for re-election this year, and Lisa Murkowski, who may well lose in 2028.
I hope I live to see these happy occasions.
Yeah. Well, I have very mixed feelings about Collins. Man, I don't have any use for her, but she is a Republican who votes about 90% of the time the right way. Unfortunately, when she votes the wrong way, it's on very big, visible issues, and so she's a real nuisance. And but get another Republican elected statewide in the state of Maine. So, the alternative is a Democrat communist with a Nazi tattoo on his chest. that's who is the savior of the Democratic Party now. And so I don't think that alternative is any better than Susan Collins. So I hope she wins.
You know what? One of the great ironies, like with AOC and Booker and all the other lunatics in town about voting rights, like they were removed. It took 75 days to pass that Voting Rights Act in 1964 because of obstruction by Democrats. Why are so many people who align with this party so ignorant of your history, starting with slavery and everything else? It's just mind-boggling. And the protection they enjoy from the media is still,
it's pretty extraordinary. It's really amazing. They created the Ku Klux Klan. The party itself was founded to defend the institution of slavery. Somehow they continue to be identified as the party of civil rights. It's really incredible.
It's ridiculous. It's crazy. 350. So, in terms of redistricting now, by the way, Texas is your primary's next week, right?
Our primary is next Tuesday. Early voting open today.
How's it looking for one of our great conservative leaders, John Cornyn?
Well, in the most current polls, he's still well behind, like 7, 8, 10 points. So it looks like Paxton is going to win. And, a couple of Democratic polling groups keep dummying up polls showing James Tallarico, the Democrat, running strong against either one of them, but they're fake polls. And whoever wins this runoff, it will be the next senator.
Is that Tallarico? That's the Pete Buttigieg you want to be, right?
That's he's Timu Pete Buttigieg, yeah.
Timu. He just, I'll tell you what, he's like, the first time I saw Beat-Off O'Rourke, wow, there's Texas personified right there.
Yeah, I know. Oh, God.
Unbelievable.
The stuff that comes out of Timu's mouth is crazy, though. Some of the things he says.
Tallarico? Oh, yeah. He's really way out there in left wing land, yeah. And he'll get slaughtered in the general election. Whichever Republican becomes the nominee is going to have $50-80 million to run TV ads, and you're going to have these super PACs come in and just destroy Tallarico with negative advertising, because the guy, there's so many video clips out there of him saying these craziest things imaginable. And so even if he is running close with Cornyn and Paxton right now, they're going to take 10 points off of that guy's ceiling vote within 2 or 3 weeks. General election campaigns around, he doesn't really have any chance at all, just because of all the lunatic things he said in the past. And it's all on the public record. The internet's forever, and he's not going to be able to get away from it. Excuse me.
I'd like to get your take on the net result of the China trip, but I don't know if you're aware of this, but one of the business leaders in America is very upset he was not asked to be part of the group, and I have an announcement from him if you've got a minute.
I'm Jeff Bezos. I'd like to welcome home from China the President and his delegation of America's foremost business leaders. But I do have one question. What am I? Chop liver chow mein? I mean, you took Doge Boy Elon and Tim Cook, a.k.a. Dollar Store Steve Jobs. I mean, throw me a frickin' bone here. Why leave me behind like I'm J.D. Vance? Quite frankly, I'm insulted. I founded Amazon, but I feel more like Temu. And don't even think about asking me to accompany you on your next trip to China, because I will say, sayonara, sucker. Oh, wait, is that Japanese?
I think
that's Japanese.
Yeah, last I checked. What's your take on the China trip? What did we learn from it? Do we really...
I'm sorry, go ahead, sorry.
Are we in a position of strength with them? Are they going to help us in Iran? There's a lot of...
I don't think a lot changed. I mean, it's kind of a... the United States is definitely in a superior position to China, just geopolitically and strategically and economically. I remember 10 years ago, if you remember back, William Safire, the famous economic expert at the New York Times, was writing things, columns, projecting that China's economy would far surpass America's economy by this year. And here we are in 2026, and America's economy is still 35-40% larger than China's. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but the main reason is our system is superior to a communist system, just in terms of economic development and prosperity. And so that's not going to change anytime soon. It doesn't make any difference how many of our corporate technological ideas China steals and tries to implement. They're always going to be behind us, because for whatever reason, that culture doesn't have the ability to innovate on its own. It always has to steal ideas, steal technology, and try to compete that way. And
it's interesting. I've never heard that take before, that they have to steal it because they can't.
Yeah, it's not an innovative culture for some reason. I don't know what that is, but it's always been the case. They're really good at building stuff, though. It's incredibly impressive what they're able to build. I saw a 5-minute video this morning about a train station China built in 38 months that is 8 times larger than any other train station terminal in the world. Okay, and they built this thing cradle to grave in 38 months. In the United States, it would take longer than that to do an environmental impact study. And they built this damn thing on top of a mountain. And the first thing they had to do to get it built was lop off the top of this mountain and make it a flat surface to house this terminal. It's just an incredible thing that they're able to do. And so that shouldn't be underestimated. But Trump is really in a superior strategic position to Xi when he goes over there. And, he's over there. It was completely different than any other presidential trip to China, because previous presidents are always more worried about process and protocol than Trump is worried about making deals. And didn't seem to me a lot of big deals were made. Yeah, they're going to buy some more meat from us and some more agricultural products from us. And, we're going to buy stuff from them and maybe let them make some cars here in the United States, which I'm very, very concerned about. I think the president had better find a way to gracefully back out of that one, because that's just the camel's nose under the tent. If you do that, it'll be the destruction of Detroit auto industry. But otherwise, it just wasn't real eventful in terms of major foreign policy developments or anything like that. Was it worthwhile? I guess. I don't know. Just as a relationship building exercise, it most likely was. And to me, that more than anything else was probably the real objective of the whole thing. And
they seem to receive him with a much higher degree of respect than they did Obama.
Well, you remember, and Biden, when Biden went over there the last time, he lands at the airport and no one's there to greet him. There was no ceremony, no band, no nothing. He just arrives there and gets off the plane, and literally there was no delegation to meet him. So yes, it's a world of difference when Trump shows up over there than Biden or Obama. But that said, it just this event wasn't any earth-shattering thing, and that's not all bad.
Yeah, I think you're seeing a couple things come out of it. Some soybeans, some beef, some trade here and there. Two of my favorite stories out of that trip is I don't know if you've seen the picture when they're in the Great Hall and Xi's on a chair that's visibly like a foot higher than Trump's, and they've got Trump in this like lowrider chair. He's slumped down, just the old Chinese trick, make America look weak, and then the level of espionage that the Chinese go to. So they told the entire cabinet and everyone traveling, said you can't take your personal cell phones, laptops, any electronic devices, and they stayed in sealed bags on Air Force One, and they gave them burners. And so at the end, the Chinese gave them literally a dumpster full of gifts. And so they had to put them in a dumpster, all of the gold frames and trinkets and pins, and they were just laced with tracking devices, microphones.
Oh, how thoughtful.
And so, like, you imagine getting these wonderful golden Chinese dragons, and you're like, I got to throw it in the trash,
you gotta throw it away.
But they're just, I mean, I would never personally travel to China just because of that. They know my military background and the level of bugging and tracking, and it's just like you said.
You don't think Tim Walz was doing the right thing going over there more than 30 times?
Yeah,
in the 90s and early 2000s.
Little Timmy,
former vice presidential candidate.
He was waddling over there that many times. I didn't know that.
More than 30 trips to China. Think about that. I mean, that wasn't vacationing. That's an organized campaign.
But give him credit. When it's inconvenient to travel somewhere, he just brings the country here, like Somalia.
I tell you what, Minnesota's going to hell in a handbasket, and your Spurs put a spanking on my T-Wolves. So hopefully you guys can stand up to OKC this week. That'd be a good series.
We won't have time for any sports talk today.
We just got it done. It's over. That's it. We got a shout out to the Spurs.
Okay, the Spurs.
Okay.
I'm just not a basketball fan. College, maybe. 3:59. David, we're going to take our first ponderous break here. So we will be looking for you in about 10, 11, 12 minutes.
All right.
Appreciate your patience with us.
Good.
It is primary eve, and you're going to meet a candidate in the 5 o'clock hour on 5:35. We'll tell you about that coming up. To read David's blog, to get all the information I was treated to this morning. We spent a good 15 minutes of the morning show kicking around the numbers that he brought out. Oh, and before we leave, we have to talk. David's going to explain why, if you're a boomer, you're dead. I have to give it the, they need the sizzle to make sure they don't miss it. That's all coming up. DavidBlackman.substack.com, and we'll be back with him in a minute. If you have a family law situation, divorce, or you know somebody who does, it's absolutely the most important thing is asking for help from the right people who can defuse, clear the smoke, and say, here's where you're at, here's your plan, here's how we're going to get there. Delk and Tomlinson, attorneys at law. Dana Delk and Jacqueline Tomlinson both have the legal wisdom is readily evident, but the experience, hundreds of cases. And this is what they do, turning it over. Don't manage it yourself. Give it to people who will absolutely be your advocate and give you the legal leadership required to see the light of day at the other end. For a consultation, or you know somebody who needs this kind of help, 819-4810, 819-4810, or visit this web address and you can see all the family law services they provide, including wills, they help with the blended families, adoptions, and more. TheAlabamaFamilyLawyers.com for Delk and Tomlinson, attorneys at law.
The representation is made that the quality of legal services performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
4 o'clock.
Traffic is brought to you by Dillon Rings. Dillon Rings has great watches and beautiful rings. Or have Josh design a piece of jewelry for you. Shop Dillon Rings now at 119 Brown Springs Road. And check them out on Facebook.
All right, we got some things going on out there. Skipper, where are they?
Well, our latest accidents, East Boulevard at Shirley Lane. Watch out for emergency vehicles there, as well as Bell Road at Taylor. Minor accident there. I-65 southbound right past Fairview Avenue. Couple of vehicles off on the right. Emergency crews are there. Watch out for folks walking around as you pass. All lanes are open. And a disabled 18-wheeler on 85 southbound right around South Union. That's from an accident earlier. Please be safe out there. We will keep you updated. Get $4,000 customer cash on a new Toyota Tundra at McKinnon Toyota. Add the lowest tax rates in Alabama, and it's worth the drive. McKinnon Toyota, exit 212 on 565 in Clanton. Buckle up, Wendell J. Montgomery, Skywatch Traffic.
For many homeowners, there's untapped reserves hiding in plain sight. It's not in the savings account. It's not in the stock market. It's right under your roof. Now more than ever, homeowners are sitting on record levels of home equity, and that equity belongs to you. It can be used to consolidate high-interest credit card debt, to pay expensive school tuition, to cover medical expenses, to invest in renovations, you name it, because that money is yours. This isn't about taking on unnecessary debt. It's about using an asset you already own to improve your financial position and your quality of life. The key is understanding your options and choosing the strategy that fits your goals. Let's see what's possible with the equity in your home. Give us a call at Alabama Home Mortgage today at 334-567-4223 or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586368, Equal Housing Lender.
Today's show is brought to you by All You Can Eat Buffets, the perfect way to get a week's worth of calories in only 45 minutes.
Before you commit to that plumbing repair or upgrade, get a second opinion from Headley Plumbing. Our estimate could save you thousands. We do it all: residential, commercial, and septic tank service, serving the entire river region. No membership, no contract, just fair, reliable service. Call Headley Plumbing at 285-3667 or visit headleyplumbing.com. In our business, a flush beats a full house.
Headley Metal Buildings has been your source for quality metal buildings in the river region since 2007. Carports up to 24 feet wide, RV covers, storage buildings, even a sturdy metal barn up to 54 feet wide. Your structure can be customized, installed on level ground, and comes with a 20-year warranty. Let Headley Metal Buildings help you find the perfect solution. Financing available. Call 285-3667 for details or find Headley Metal Buildings on Facebook.
Dewan Walker has been an Alabama Power customer since 1999.
We're being squeezed on every side. We hear about Alabama Power freezing their rates. That's the best news we can get. Alabama Power rate freeze will provide real relief for Alabama working families. Alabama Power is protecting their customers by making data centers pay their full cost. It makes me feel at peace. Alabama Power is really stepping up and doing what's right for customers.
We know the businesses that keep our communities moving. We walk the same streets, shop the same stores, and support the same local families. Janney King franchise owners take pride in caring for the places they keep our hometown strong. With dependable service, attention to detail, and commitment to doing the things the right way, more businesses are choosing Janney King as their trusted local cleaning partner. Visit JanneyKingCleans.com today.
Janney King, the king of clean.
Leanne Morgan, the Time of Our Lives Tour.
My children went to a small Christian school in Knoxville, and the girl that worked front desk was Jeannie, who's a good friend of mine. And I dropped my little children off that morning, and I came back that afternoon, and Jeannie saw me walk in, and she grabbed her chest and said, "Oh my gosh, Leanne, how are you walking?" She said, "Maggie said you had surgery today." I said, "Jeannie, I got my IUD replaced."
Montgomery Performing Arts Center, Due to Demand, third show added July 26th. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Today's show is brought to you by vodka, the only booze you can put in a water bottle without your boss noticing.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
406, what's next, Jesse?
With SRN Newsline, Bob Agnew in Washington. San Diego police responding to an active shooter at the Islamic Center of San Diego today. Police said they believe people were shot inside the building, and aerial television footage showed a heavy police presence outside the building. Commuters in New York City suburbs had to navigate a gauntlet of car, bus, subway routes, various things to try and get to work today. That's after a strike on the Long Island Railroad. It shut down the nation's busiest commuter rail system, and that entered its third day today. Unions representing rail workers and the Transit Authority, which runs the railroad, negotiated for much of the day Sunday, but still came up short of any kind of new agreement. The Supreme Court today has rejected appeals from pharmaceutical companies that object to negotiating Medicare drug prices with the federal government. The justices gave no comment as they left in place a lower court ruling from the Federal Appeals Court in Philadelphia. This is SRN News.
Ready for a bathroom upgrade that won't disrupt your life? Jacuzzi Bath Remodel is here to help. Take the stress out of renovations with quick, professional service from the name America trusts. Affordable, stunning selection of tubs and showers, each designed with style, safety, and your budget in mind. With customizable features like grab bars and seats, your new bath or shower will meet your entire family's needs.
I absolutely love my new bathroom. It's very hard to believe that they get it done in one day. Jacuzzi really outdid themselves.
Right now, we're waiving all installation costs, plus offering no interest and no payments for up to 1 year. Call now to schedule your free design consultation and quote. Call 800-486-3395. That's 800-486-3395. 800-486-3395. With purchase and installation, financing through third-party lenders, subject to credit approval. No interest and no payments if paid in full within 12 months. Interest charged from purchase date if not paid in full. Not all will qualify. Call dealer for details.
Mr. Electric presents the most electrifying story of the day. For service, installation, and upfront pricing, call Mr. Electric at 245-1566. Here with today's high voltage news, it's Greg Budell.
All right, story going to come back to again later in the show, but there was a mass shooting in San Diego at a mosque. The 2 shooters are dead, 3 people killed. Details, suspects, and things like that are still coming out from the news sources. That's been breaking news literally since we walked in the door this afternoon. So more coming up on that later. And don't forget, for the best electrical service, to visit MrElectric.com. They are really great.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. For tough, good-looking roofs, it's Tamco Shingles from Alabama Wholesale Lumber. For great folks and great prices, call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We've kind of jumped from a comfortable May pattern to more like a summer pattern. Partly cloudy tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 67 with the risk of a shower perhaps early. Tomorrow's high up to about 91. Lots of sunshine on Tuesday. Increasing humidity near 90 each day this week, right on through Friday. Scattered random spotty storms in the afternoon and evening hours Wednesday and Thursday. And a better chance, I think, Friday and Saturday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Big dreams for your home on a tight budget? ASE's $26.26 as you covered. Unlock your home's equity with just $26 in closing costs. No fees, no headaches. Visit your local ASE branch today. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender. NMLS number 420259.
410, Tom Moore and I will return to our tour of the Idiocracy with David Blackman in just a couple of minutes.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. The 5 things to do when you are considering selling your home. Number 1, get a realtor to evaluate your home, and that will make suggestions on updates needed for your home, painting suggestions, and staging tips to highlight your home. Number 2, along with the evaluation of the house, you need an updated market analysis that compares your house to other houses for sale and those that have sold. Number 3, do a walk around your own home to see what you could do to improve the curb appeal to potential buyers. Since research tells us that 8 out of 10 home buyers choose the house that they view based on the curb appeal of the home. Number 4, review online the houses that have sold in your neighborhood to see how yours compares with the ones that buyers have chosen. Number 5, if possible, use a CRS certified realtor in your marketplace. For other details, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
A man who's done a fantastic job, Sheriff Matt Gentry. Thank you.
When Alabama families needed protecting, Matt Gentry answered the call. For nearly 30 years as a Marine, a deputy, and now the Sheriff of Coleman County, he's stood between us and danger. Now, Matt is taking that same no-nonsense approach to the Public Service Commission to stand up for Alabama ratepayers and fight back against liberal green energy agendas that threaten our way of life.
From small farms to front porches, people deserve someone that will fight for them, someone who understands them and understands their struggles. I'm Matt Gentry. I'm asking for your prayers, your support, and your vote for the Public Service Commission.
Because Alabama doesn't need more politics. It needs a sheriff. Paid for by Gentry for PSC. P.O. Box 655, Coleman Avenue, 35056.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
Greg Budell, Tom Moore, David Blackmon, we're ready.
Welcome to the world of Idiocracy with Greg, Pamela, and experts, especially David Blackmon, talking about all the latest mess. Get it off your chest and tune to the best. The tales of Idiocracy. The tales of Idiocracy. Oh, the tales of Idiocracy. It's the tales of Idiocracy.
Speaking of Idiocracy and its citizens, let's talk about Texas Democrat Harris County Treasurer arrested for DWI for the second time in 6 months. That's
she's
nice.
a real gem. Yeah.
Yeah. How's that going to play out? Has she decided to go to rehab or?
Well, it's a misdemeanor. You know, it's only punishable by a fine. Now, I haven't heard whether she's going to do the rehab thing or not. You know, that's what a very high profile politician or an actor would do.
Yeah.
Anyone in Hollywood, that's their typical thing. But you know, she's the county treasurer. She's not facing any jail time. You know, I doubt she will do that. There's not going to be any media pressure. I think I told you last week that the Houston Chronicle story on that incident didn't even identify what political party she's in.
Isn't that amazing?
Paragraph story didn't contain the word Democrat. So, you know, the Houston Chronicle is a vile, disgusting rag, and the TV stations are all, you know, heavily biased. So she's probably going to be fine.
Has she been tried on the first charge yet? Because a second DUI conviction is.
Yeah, she had
usually
to do some kind of community service for that first deal, and I guess she'll probably have to do some for this one too. But really, you know, until she gets a felony citation, and I think a third strike is an automatic felony charge, so she's going to have to be more careful going forward.
It's amazing, isn't it? I'm sure she probably has people that can drive her.
Well,
that's what I do.
Yeah. You know, but some people think they're bulletproof, and she's obviously one of them.
Mark Kelly, is he serious? Is he seriously considering running for president?
I think so. You know, I think that a lot of what he's been doing in recent months has been designed to up his profile and street cred with the Democratic voter base. You know, they love guys who are controversial and treasonous and yeah, I mean, how much lower can you go than Joe Biden? Well, Mark Kelly, I think, sees the fact that whoever's going to be the nominee in 2028 has to go lower than Joe. So he's trying to get there. Kamala may not be low enough, and Gavin Newsom may have already kind of disenchanted too many people in the base to be a viable nominee now. What kills me about Democratic polls that you see now is Pete Buttigieg is still among the top 3, and the guy's not out there doing anything. I mean, he's just like a non-entity.
He never did anything.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything when he had a position to be of influence.
Yeah.
So what is he? I know he did one thing. I happened to watch a documentary on the history of Studebaker. The plant was in the city that he was mayor, South Bend, Indiana, and he turned it parts of it into a museum. So maybe we should make him president based on that.
I don't know. Maybe he can turn parts of the White House into a museum if he gets elected.
I guess parts of it are gonna. I thought the ballroom was a done deal. Now that seems to be.
Can you explain to me? I do not understand. I don't understand why is the president seeking $1 billion in funding for the ballroom? He's got enough private money to build the damn thing. Is it for the underground part of?
Yeah, absolutely. It's the military aspect of that's what they're trying to seek funding for.
Yeah, the security end of it is, but that would be a benefit to a subsequent president as well.
Yeah, that's In fact, Trump won't more than likely be able to utilize the ballroom at all. It won't be completed until he is sunsetting out. David, did you have a chance to watch 60 Minutes yesterday?
I never watched 60 Minutes. I watched clips of it on the following day, but I've been boycotting 60 Minutes since Mike Wallace was still doing it.
Yeah, they've gotten better. I wanted to get your take. There was an interesting piece yesterday about insider trading with oil commodities that now the DOJ is now investigating. So it talked about, there was an Army master sergeant that was betting on when the Venezuelan president would be taken down, but he obviously was involved in the planning of that. And so it was the first time that a military individual had used classified information for betting on the poly market. And so it was about, poly markets and insider trading, but then it turned into the oil. And I just, obviously I think they said that they can go to the CFTC and see who's making those trades.
Yes, they can.
But it'll be interesting. I wanted to get your perspective on that and see who comes out of that.
Were they claiming senior executives at oil companies were doing insider trading, or?
No, they're thinking. I think more like White House staff, like cabinet. Like in that level, because these were timed like 15 minutes before press news on potential deals, and I think not March. There was a time frame where they released a message to the staffer saying, hey, private inside communication is not to be used for anything other than that. But it was a good piece, worth watching.
I have watched. I do admit that I have watched some of their segments, on social media the next day. I do that quite often if there's something really good, so I'll go watch it. But I just get so disenchanted. I don't watch any network news cast live at all, and haven't for a long time, probably in this century. Have never watched a single. Well, no, that's not true. I did watch one of Tony Dockaple's first week broadcasts. That was the first network news broadcast, evening news broadcast I've probably watched in this century, and it was so effective. I've never watched another one. So it's just not where I get my news.
Yeah, we record it and then just film through the segments that we find interesting. But it was when the war was humming along. And then 15 minutes before the ceasefire was announced, there were massive trades at like 6 a.m. where $800 million was made on oil shorts. So,
well, that needs to be prosecuted. People need to go to jail for that if it turns out to be real. mean, if you're trading on classified information, you need to be in prison.
Yeah.
And I don't give a damn who it is.
I know. It's like that Army Master Sergeant who planned the Maduro raid. It's like, dude, like, you don't need to make the $34,000 bet. If you had any intelligence, like, call one of your like long lost buddies and just say, hey, you know, do it at the golf course, but you shouldn't make the trades. I mean, not condoning doing any illegal betting, but it's like, come on, you're going to get caught.
I just saw an aerial shot of the Democrats who came to Montgomery to protest. They're going to fight all this redistricting here in the South because they don't seem to understand the concept. They're talking about rigged elections. Well, that's exactly what we've had. Rigged elections, guaranteeing certain outcomes, and that's not the way it's supposed to work. But I saw an aerial shot from behind, and it was a very mediocre turnout. I don't know.
Yeah.
And they had to bust people in.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that doesn't surprise me. I'll never forget, we were in the middle of the fracking wars in Austin back in about 2009, I think, during the 09 session. And we got word there was going to be this big anti-fracking rally on the grounds of the Capitol on a specific Monday. And so a bunch of us went down there just, not to engage in any way, but just to see it. And we get there, at the time the thing's supposed to be held, and there was I counted them. I did a head count. There was 34 people there. And we were told there were going to be thousands of citizens turn out for this big protest, and there was 34 of them. So a lot of times they just fizzle, like Gay Pride Parade did in Long Beach, California over the weekend. Things just fizzle if they don't have the proper pre-planning and what am I trying to say? Organization. If the organizers don't do their job, then you end up with a bad turnout. And that's probably what happened there. But I want to go back to the redistricting thing for 1 second. You talk about rigged elections. Stacey Abrams, who, by the way, is the subject of a Justice Department investigation now.
Good.
I found out last Friday. Over the weekend, did an interview in which she admits in this interview that 121 currently Democrat districts are in jeopardy because of that change in the law. That's how many racially rigged districts she believes the Democrat Party has benefited from over the last few years. So, I mean, that's a stunning admission from a Democrat activist who, her whole job in the last 5 or 6 years has been to community organize and try to rig elections. And so she knows. She's a voice of expertise on that subject.
Wasn't it great to see them go to the Supreme Court expecting them to overrule the Virginia State Supreme Court and get... and they're just going nuts. And here's the thing. I'd be more worried about the midterms, but they're the only idea they're out there advocating is tax the rich. And there's no ideas. I'm not hearing great ideas from. It's just, we're not Donald Trump. We're not orange. That's all they're doing. And I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah, this rally is basically saying, hey, it was rigged, and we want to go back to the rigged system because it benefited us.
Of course.
It's like, but I think the current numbers, what is it, up 17 for the Republicans and maybe 3 seats for the Dems, which, like you said, it's kind of back to where it should be.
Oh, on the redistricting so far? Yeah, it's a huge advantage. And it's going to get bigger between now and Election Day, and it's going to get a lot bigger after the 2030 census. And again, as we've talked about, in the red states, these districts are going to get redrawn quickly. In the blue states, there's going to be litigation that forces the blue states to do it. You're going to have to force it through litigation. And so that will take years, but ultimately they're all going to have to be redrawn. Or, either that or you elect a Democrat president in 2028 and they rig the Supreme Court so that they can reverse that decision, which is what the current plan is.
That's all they've got. All their plans are just, we're going to Kamala said it. We'll stack the Supreme Court. We'll do this and that.
No bad ideas, right?
No, not on their part, not whatsoever. And here's the thing that really, it just pisses me off, but it speaks to Trump derangement syndrome, that over a third of Democrats believe that these assassination attempts have all been staged.
Yeah. Oh, well, certainly the one at the correspondence dinner. Yeah. I mean, yeah, a third of Democrats believe the one in Butler, Pennsylvania was staged, which is a remarkable fantasy when you really think about that one, that they believe someone is capable of shooting a sliver of a person's ear off at 140 yards.
Yeah.
Kid on earth who can make that shot reliably. And so, but, you know, these people are in a state of derangement, and there's no talking any sense to them, and they're really dangerous people.
Very dangerous people. I see the Republicans are really trying to save their Texas rhino, John Cornyn, spending $150 million to keep this guy in the Senate. And again, he and Thune, they can't get the voter ID thing going, and that's something that people in both parties want to see passed. It's disgraceful.
Yeah, Thune has turned out to be a real snake.
Yeah.
You know, he's just Mitch McConnell Jr. I don't know if that changes anyway once McConnell's gone. I kind of doubt it. I think this is what Thune really believes. I know it's what Cornyn really believes. So Thune's just a real snake, and unfortunately, he's going to be the Senate leader for the Republicans until, for years, unless he loses, gets primaried in 2028 and loses, which could happen if he continues to be an obstruction.
What do you think is going to happen with Massey in Kentucky? Is there a chance to?
I think he's going to lose.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's going to lose.
Where was it? Trump's. Oh, it was the Cassidy election, where Trump's endorsement made a big deal. His endorsement still has value.
It has great value. I mean, his record for endorsements is pretty incredible. I used to make fun of Bill Clinton because after, Clinton was supposedly this incredibly popular president. He was in a lot of ways. But he gets out of office and he starts endorsing candidates and campaigning for him. And everybody he goes to campaign for gets beat. I mean, it was just an amazing track record. About 90% of the people he endorsed lost. And Obama's been kind of the same way.
He's the kiss
So they
of
both
death.
have pretty much stopped doing it finally.
Well, Obama's anointed Mamdani as the Northern Star for the Democrats.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
You go with that.
So he'll be a one-term mayor.
Oh, man. We're at 4:30, David. We have to take our break, our next break, and we have one more long segment to follow.
Cool.
We appreciate it. Learn about the latest in energy developments by following David and subscribing at blackman.substack.com, and, of course, the regular blog, which is a treat to read first thing every morning, davidblackman.substack.com. All right, let's see. No new details on that situation in San Diego at the moment, so let's hit the traffic dungeon first. 1819 News to follow.
Well, traffic is beginning to build, and we've got a couple of accidents. One on East-South Boulevard near Baptist at Narrow Lane. That one should be about to clear. New accident, Taylor Road at Halcyon Summit. That should be right near AUM. And we have an accident, Highway 14 near Coolridge Road in Wetumpka. That should be a little past McCain Road eastbound headed towards Wetumpka. Please be safe out there. Got a lot of busy building afternoon traffic out on the roads. Invisible Fence has both indoor and outdoor systems to keep your pet safe and in designated areas. Call Vicky at Invisible Fence for all the information and details. 334-265-2585. Buckle up, Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch Traffic.
News is brought to you by Adams Motorsports of Montgomery, where your pleasure is their business.
1819 News.
Governor Ivey wants to see Alabama voters get involved in the primary election that is happening this Tuesday across the state. There are critical state, county, and local races where candidates for the general election in November will be determined. This year, Alabama will be electing a new governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, secretary of state, state auditor, and more. Governor Ivey says it is the patriotic duty of citizens to vote, and if a person doesn't vote in the primary election, then they cannot gripe and complain about who is leading the state. The voting for primary candidates for 4 of Alabama's congressional districts will not be happening this Tuesday, but in a special primary election to be held in August. Those districts are 1, 2, 6, and 7, which are currently being represented by Barry Moore, Shamari Figures, Gary Palmer, and Terry Sewell. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Are you enjoying 1819 News? If so, consider joining 1819 News as a member. As a nonprofit news organization, we depend on the support of Alabamians like you. Memberships start out as little as $5 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content only offered to our members. You'll be supporting independent journalism done by people who cherish Alabama values. Become a member today by visiting 1819news.com and clicking Become a Member. That's 1819news.com and click Become a Member today.
A Dothan man was sentenced to life in prison for a 2021 murder that took the life of 36-year-old Ricky Turner. Dexter Marsh Jr. entered a guilty plea to the charges against him as he was about to go to trial this week. Marsh pleaded guilty to murder charges rather than capital murder, which eliminated the possibility of the death penalty. The North Marshall Utilities has lifted a boil water advisory for residents in that area. The advisory was placed due to a water shortage that occurred when a fire hydrant was struck by a truck. Testing of the waters was conducted this past Sunday, and the results show that the water is safe to drink. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
AdamsMotorsports.com on the web, or Adams Motorsports on the Boulevard in Montgomery. That's at Adams Motorsports in Montgomery, where your pleasure is our business. Come by and learn more about the new Suzuki GSX 8R motorcycle and see for yourself the bar has officially been reset.
Alabama needs a fighter for Attorney General, and that's Katherine Robertson. She passed the toughest gang law in the country and made violent criminals serve longer sentences. As Attorney General, she'll stand with President Trump to deport violent illegals. Endorsed by sheriffs from Huntsville to Mobile, Alabama firefighters, and the NRA, Katherine will fight for Alabama families from day one. Tough, tested, conservative. Vote Katherine Robertson for Attorney General on May 19th.
Paid for by Robertson for Attorney General, P.O. Box 530063, Birmingham, Alabama 35253.
Ooh, Barracuda.
An evening with Ann Wilson of Heart and Trip Sitter with the 2026 tour September 24th at the Montgomery Performing Arts Center. Ann Wilson of Heart and Trip Sitter performing vintage songs from Heart and more. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com, Impact.org, or the Impact box office. Don't miss an evening with Ann Wilson of Heart and Trip Sitter, Thursday, September 24th, 8 p.m. live at the Impact.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Vaughan Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
We all know what the career politicians do when an outsider takes them on. It happened to President Trump. As soon as he started winning, the lies and the desperate attacks started. Now they're going after Jared Hudson because the career politicians know he'll drain the swamp, and he's winning. Jared Hudson is a decorated Navy SEAL sniper. He started a small business to train law enforcement and a nonprofit that fights human traffickers. Jared's a seventh-generation Alabamian, husband and father, running for Senate on the America First platform, securing our elections, deporting criminals, protecting children, and hitting the career politicians where it hurts. Term limits, stock trading bans, and if they don't pass a budget, they don't get paid. No wonder the insiders are scared. Jared Hudson for U.S. Senate. Alabama Conservatives is responsible for the content of this advertising. Paid for by Alabama Conservatives. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.alabamaconservativespac.com.
A new year brings new opportunities, and right now the market is starting to shift.
Interest rates are beginning to come down, which means more buying power and more options for buyers who've been waiting.
If you're thinking about buying a home, This could be the moment to take that next step.
And whether you're buying, selling, or investing, having experience on your side matters more than ever.
At Hannah and Eddie Realty Group, we're also growing our team.
If you're an experienced agent ready to make a difference in this market and want to be part of a team that values knowledge, support, and results, call Hannah and Eddie Realty Group, where opportunity meets experience.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We've kind of jumped from a comfortable May pattern to more like a summer pattern. Partly cloudy tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 67 with the risk of a shower perhaps early. Tomorrow's high up to about 91. Lots of sunshine on Tuesday. Increasing humidity near 90 each day this week, right on through Friday. Scattered random spotty storms in the afternoon and evening hours Wednesday and Thursday. And a better chance, I think, Friday and Saturday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Del Rey to Publix.
All right, we have weather from the Great American Idiocracy with Rich, and a look at the roads before we return to David Black.
Well, let's start with this. Up at Wetumpka Highway 14. This is going to be just past McCain Road before Coolridge Road. That is just outside of Wetumpka. Use caution there. In Montgomery, we have an accident on Taylor Road at Halcyon Summit. That is right near AUM. And another accident East-South Boulevard near Baptist at Narrow Lane. That one should be clearing out of the way, but use caution in case they're still on the scene. Busy building afternoon traffic all over. Folks are getting off work, loading up the roads. Davis Door and Sash has quality replacement windows and doors. Save 10% on materials by mentioning this ad. Visit DavisDoorandSashAlabama.com or call 334-288-6010. Buckle up, Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch Traffic.
Coming up later in Happy Hour, as David Blackman joins us from Texas for our third and final segment, we have... Excuse me 1 second here. This has been a little bit chaotic here in the last few minutes. We will talk to a candidate for District 5 in Millbrook, and that's Carol Cook Carter. So that's at 5:35 this afternoon. Brett McDonald at 5:15. What a weird morning in the market. It was down. The Dow was down 400 when we came on the air at 6. By 8 o'clock, it had moved up into the green, then it was down in the red, and it finished up 180. I can't wait to find out what was guiding all that, man. You need to take Dramamine. Hey, and other, from the entertainment portion of the Idiocracy, we have Kiefer Sutherland announcing that he's canceled his U.S. tour as a country music artist. I didn't even know he was doing this.
I had no idea.
And he had a whole tour plan, but he said, I don't see the point. Concerts are not selling.
Oh,
prices are high, and, Chicago came to town, sold that out, but they can play nothing but hits for 3 hours, songs you recognize.
Yeah.
But this guy just stuck out at me as something I might want to touch on.
Speaking of music, those country music awards were last night. Shania Twain was hosting.
Yeah.
Who was one of the most beautiful women in America 20 years ago. And then she started having surgery on her face.
She has changed.
She is completely unrecognizable. What is with? Remember, Meg Ryan did that to herself. And I don't understand what is with these lovely women who look in the mirror and think something's wrong and then make crazy changes to their face that makes them unrecognizable. It is so sad to me.
It is. I think there's societal pressures for them to look forever young. And
I
there's a
guess,
thing
yeah.
called gracefully aging and looking beautiful. I mean, look at us three men. I mean, we got wrinkles, we got sunspots. We ain't going to the derm. We're just saying, thanking God.
You know how gracefully aging is spelled in my case? Grey.
Gracefully. Yes, exactly.
But you're right. And because some of the times it's like it can put yourself in a hurt locker where you have one bad surgery and then you're chasing other surgeries to recover from those. And, it's just, I not a fan.
It's just sad. Anyway, I loved her music. Her first album was probably the greatest country music album ever recorded by a female artist. It was incredible. Every song on it was an amazing song. And just things happen, I guess.
And
she was not only great, the music was great, but she was hotter than Hades.
It was sad that, her producer, Mutt Lange from Sony, did her wrong, and they had a horrible divorce. And, it's how about our local girl, Ella Langley, though, sweeping the records last night. She got seven awards last night, everything she was nominated. So she grew up in a town about 10 minutes south of here, Hope Hole, Alabama.
Yeah. I knew
Couple
she
of
was
things,
an Alabama girl.
Since we're touching sort of on Hollywood, number one, I saw Bill Maher, who was talking about the midterms, and he said, 6 months ago, you couldn't have got me to consider that the Democrats would just have a blowout midterm. And he says, guess what? It ain't looking that way at all anymore.
Yeah.
And along with Democrats who are getting their racist asses handed to them with the redistricting, and Virginia's the best just because of that simpleton governor and the 10-1 crowd and all of that. The one election I'm going to be watching tomorrow is Thomas Massey. Trying to keep
that's the big one. That's
slightly
the really
down
big.
Slightly down in polling, you say?
Yeah, there was a poll came out yesterday, had him down 50-44, but there was one last week that had him up by 1 point. But then I noticed there were two last week that both had him up by 1 point, and both of them were Republican organizations. And so you can't trust polls conducted by either party. And just like you can't trust polls that are affiliated with any media outlet. So I don't know, the polls that were conducted by independent firms, or what appear to be independent firms, basically all have Massey down in the race. And he spent a lot of money trying to hang on, but I don't think he's going to make it. I think he's going to get beat, and deservedly so.
I think he is underestimated. Look, Trump's poll numbers are down right now, and it's because of gas prices, period.
Yeah.
And you watch those start to go down, hopefully soon, that will change. But many people have found out that he has still got the power of the endorsement. Cassidy, I mean, that had to be, wow, what? I would have loved
24% of the vote.
I mean, really?
Yeah.
Did you expect it to get rewarded for what you did?
Yeah.
I mean, he's just total deep state creature.
And just aside from just being a creep of a human being, he's
looks
just
like
a
one.
creep. He's a creepy guy.
He is creepy.
So he didn't even have, personal attractiveness or a charming personality going for him. He just, there's nothing. It's like Cornyn. Paxton is running the best political ad of the whole cycle so far, right now in Texas. And all it is asking a simple question. It's a 30-second ad. Asks you a simple question. Name one thing. John Cornyn has had a 35-year political career in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Name one thing John Cornyn has done for Texas in 35 years.
Wow.
And it's impossible to do.
Awesome. That's awesome. That's a great strategy.
I'd say the same thing for our mayor. What have you done in the last 6 years?
What positive thing have you done?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and speaking of great ads, did you see Spencer Pratt's
I was
latest
just going
ad?
there.
Ads
Oh, my
for
God.
it's a Fresh Prince of Bel Air, Fresh Prince of Bel Air spinoff with his trailer.
Is
It's
there a
great.
chance he can win the mayor's race? Because Karen Bass seems to think maybe there's a possibility.
I don't think so.
Acting a little.
I would love to believe he could. I think he's got more of a chance than either of the Republicans in the governor's race, because that's a statewide election. In this local election, maybe there's a sliver of a chance, but I think the only real chance he has is to get somehow over 50% in this jungle primary, which happens in 2 weeks from tomorrow. There may be a chance there because he's so hot right now. He is peaking as a candidate.
Yes.
His ads are everywhere. People love him. And, maybe there's a sliver of a chance he could do that. But then you get, if you don't, then it's 5 months till the general election day. And the Democrats bring in all the big guns and $100 million in advertising. And, the media, they buy off everybody in the LA media. And you just get killed, and you might get 35% of the vote, maybe.
When we last heard from Lauren Boebert, she was asking, why is everybody so horny? Following a sex scandal in D.C. And now the president has withdrawn his endorsement of her. Why is that?
Well, because she decided, for an unimaginable reason, I guess just because she's a buddy of Massey's, to record an online ad for him over the weekend, endorsing him, saying, she's a friend of President Trump's, but she's also a friend of Thomas Massey, and he deserves to be reelected. And Trump responded by saying, okay, well, I'm not endorsing you anymore, but it's too late. It doesn't mean anything because she's essentially running unopposed in her primary in a Republican district. So she'll end up getting reelected regardless.
The term teen takeover is turning up in the news with frequency, where they target a place and destroy it. Most recently at Chipotle in D.C.
God. It's not funny. It's not funny, but it's just so absurd,
But it was
and of course it's in Washington, D.C.
It was like a Hollywood event where they're literally clubbing each other over the head with chairs and tables.
Throwing chairs on each other,
But Jean Pirro says she wants to charge the parents of these kids.
Yes, that's what needs to happen, to the extent they even have parents living at home. Some of them probably don't, kids that behave that way. But yeah, I think at some point parents do need to be held responsible for things like this. And at some point, these kids, even though they're 16 and 17 years old, need to be prosecuted as adults. When you go on a rampage like that and you have a big brawl and you destroy a property that way, and they were doing it all over the city Saturday night. It wasn't just at that place. That was just the one where we got a video from, but apparently it was all over the place. And to the extent you can identify who they are and prosecute them, I think they should be prosecuted as adults and serve prison time.
Yes.
It's sad. It's awful. But, there has to be some accountability for something somewhere.
Ilhan Omar says that some members of Congress are potheads.
No. I would have never guessed it.
Nah.
We had there was a guy from Montana, a senator from Montana. Do you remember him? Max Paucus?
Yes.
And he was the Democratic senator from Montana, I think a 3-term senator, biggest pothead who ever served in the Congress. And everybody knew it. And it's just, and he didn't make any real pretense about it. But half the time you'd go meet with him. We had business in Montana, one of the companies I was with. And so we met with him several times. A couple of times he was so obviously stoned out of his mind, it wasn't worth having a conversation. And that's just not that unusual. Congress is made up of 535 people. Just like any other group of 535 people in this country, 20 or 30 of them probably going to be potheads. So it's not really surprising there are people in Congress who are pot smokers,
It certainly would explain some of the behavior we see.
Yeah, of course. And, some of them are also alcoholics. Some of them are, have 3 martini lunches. Nancy Pelosi was half drunk most of the time, while she was serving as Speaker of the House, and
Nancy,
and it was obvious, painfully obvious, very often that she was drunk, and but she wasn't alone. She was just the most high-profile one.
Obviously, I didn't grow up in the 60s or 70s, but it just seems like culturally it's the norm now. We were in Atlanta this weekend, and it just, in a very nice mall, smelled it everywhere. Montgomery, when you drive around Montgomery, you smell it in your car, so people are driving around smoking it. It's, I don't know, I find it a little repulsive, and the stuff that they smoke around here is
it smells like skunk.
It's not the high-quality stuff. But, so yeah, I don't know. I think times are changing where, I don't know, it's just more culturally acceptable. I don't know how people are affording it with everything going on, because it's not like a pack of smokes.
Ilhan Omar, though, pointing to others as potheads. What do you think's going to happen with her? I've seen some documentation that's coming out that pretty clearly states that she got into the country through a fake marriage to her brother.
Yep.
All of this is documented. What's taking them so long to make a move on it?
Well, it just takes time to build a case. We know she was getting a lot of money from the fraudsters for her campaigns. She had strong relationships with some of the biggest ones. So likely that she's, was involved in some of that stuff. But you have to be able to prove it in court before you bring a case. On Tom's point, when Greg and I were growing up, the whole country, the whole United States of America smelled like a damn cigarette. You could not go anywhere.
Those are the good old days.
You could smoke on planes, Tom.
Like a cigarette. Every place you went smelled like a cigarette. And I'm afraid my grandkids are going to live in a country where every place you go smells like pot. If we don't do something to curb this trend. And that's not a good place to be. Being in cigarette smoke constantly growing up wasn't a good place to be, and that wouldn't be a good place to be either.
Half the accidents in Colorado that involved a fatality involved a driver who was high on pot.
Of course. Yeah.
So that old thing, I'd rather be around somebody driving a car on pot than booze.
That's a bad argument.
That's not going to hold up.
But to your question, Greg, so she was subpoenaed to provide records, and she defied it. And then, but now they said that legally, it's almost like a stalemate to get her. It's just it kind of hit a roadblock with getting her accountability. But yeah, she to get her brother in the country, she married her brother. And then, of course, that was on paper, and then divorced him to marry her current husband. And
by the way, all these race baiters, AOC, the whole crowd of them, they have one thing in common. They're all married to white guys.
Yeah.
All of them.
Doesn't get talked about a lot.
No, of course not. We can't reveal that. Well, you couldn't.
It's like in the Tennessee redistricting effort, everybody's wailing about eliminating that black district. Yeah. Which, by the way, has been represented for the last 20 plus years by a white Jewish fellow named Stephen Cohen.
Okay? That's an interesting. So you think he'll be able to keep that seat or stay in Congress?
Oh, no, he's not even going to run. He decided to give up his run for re-election.
Wow. Now we got to make it happen in the other states. This is very encouraging. We only have a couple of minutes left, but I need a quick take from you, David, on Cuba. What's happening there? We cut off their oil. Well, how are they getting by?
Well, they're probably not. They've been having widespread blackouts. The United States has offered humanitarian aid, $100 million package of humanitarian aid. The government initially turned it down, but they're thing right now. I don't know how that government hangs on without oil, and they don't have any. And, some guy on Twitter was actually trying to convince me this morning that, but they've got these big solar arrays that China came in and built for them. And those solar arrays are good for about 1 or 2 hours of electricity every day in Cuba. Okay. So, if you think you can maintain a society on 1 to 2 hours of electricity every day, I got news for you, man. You are living in a fantasy world. That isn't going to happen. They have to have oil to survive as a society. And, I think what the Trump administration is concerned about now is these communists couldn't care less if all their people starve as long as they maintain power. And so that's why they're trying to do a humanitarian aid deal with them. And I just don't know. It's kind of like negotiating. I think you can negotiate a deal with Iran. Same principle, basically.
Just got note of a death in the Idiocracy. O.J. Simpson's favorite detective, Mark Furman, has passed away at the age of 74.
Huh. I didn't know he was having health issues. Well, we'll say a little prayer for him, I guess. We said a little prayer for O.J. Simpson's soul, so we'll do that for Mark Furman, too.
That's right. And hopefully President Trump won't say good or say anything else that's going to give them something to chew on. It's so tiring at the end. We have a moment. I went to, and this is baseball. We have a great minor league AA facility here, Davos Field. And I went to Friday night's game, and it was a good game. The pace of the game was crisp, but it always seems to go to the bottom of the ninth or extra innings. This one went to the 10th inning. The Biloxi Shuckers load the bases, David, and on the scoreboard, I'm looking at the guy at the plate. He's hitting 167, 3 RBIs, 0 home runs. What do you think he does?
Grand slam.
A no doubt grand slam. His dugout went nuts. Biscuits tried to come back in the bottom of the inning. They had a home run, scored another run, but that's baseball. That's the beauty of it. The most unexpected person could do that one thing. How about that line drive hit by Spencer Jones of New York that broke the leg of the New York Mets pitcher Clay Holmes on Friday night?
Man. It's a dangerous place to be on that pitcher's mound, man.
Oh, yeah, because it comes back faster than it went in. And there's we saw a guy catch the ball a couple of weeks ago with his jersey. It wasn't an out.
Yeah, that was wild.
But another
get
inch.
It out and throw the guy out at first base.
Another inch to the left, and he might be looking for a new liver. I mean, that's why my friends in the NFL that I got to know when I was in Miami and working with the Dolphins a lot all said the same thing. I could have played baseball, but I wasn't having that. I'm not going to stand in there and take my chances on that. Instead, I'm going to get my brains pounded out playing in the middle of colliding with 350-pound men who would like to push me into the dirt. Dodgers are looking good lately. Yankees, they're annoying the hell out of me.
A little bit. Yeah.
No, they got to play the Blue Jays, who haven't been that good this year.
No, but boy, Tampa's going crazy.
What are they? I mean, look.
Holy crap.
Tampa, the Cardinals, the White Sox, and the Rays, none of those teams are predicted to be competitive this year, and they're all leading their division. Unbelievable.
It's crazy. And the Braves are going crazy still. And, it's just, and the Cubbies.
But look at
the Sox got wiped. They wiped the Cubbies.
A couple of times they won the series. So, but that again, that's baseball. You just can't assume anything. David, we so appreciate your time today. It's 5:00. Got to run, but will you be with us Thursday?
Absolutely. See you then.
All righty. Thank you, my friend. DavidBlackman.substack.com. Please subscribe. It's a great news roundup to get in your inbox every morning, and he hits a lot of stuff that will give you not only a really good perspective, but most often I get to the end of his blogs and feel positive, which is nice. Clark's Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing sponsors the show. If you didn't know it, today was the hottest day of the year. And now, maybe 277-2125. Call that number, get yourself a Clark's Club membership, or call us tomorrow morning and get your name in Friday's drawing and win this $180 value that saves people money, gives them peace of mind because they're guaranteed protection on any heating, air conditioning, or plumbing issue. You'll never have to wait for service, no matter when you need it. But with that $180 investment, you get 2 tune-ups in your home from the uber-qualified Clark's HVAC technicians, and their plumbers, they're amazing. And if you have an emergency, and generally when you got a plumbing problem, it needs to be fixed right away, you call 277-2125 and somebody will be dispatched and you get a discount on parts and labor should a repair be required. 277-2125, ClarkComfort.com, Alabama certification number 09098. We've got traffic, Wall Street Business, Salem Radio Network News, and Brant coming up later.
We have an accident with injuries, Atlanta Highway at Bell Road. Please watch out for emergency vehicles there. Everywhere else, extremely busy. Interstates and boulevards are loading up as folks get off work and flood the highways. Boulevards, east, south are busiest. West-South Boulevard at I-65, we're pretty congested there. And all of our feeder roads outbound loaded up. We will update you when new accidents happen. Registration going on now at Trenton State Community College for summer classes, which begin this Wednesday, the 20th. Go to TrentonState.edu and change your life. Buckle up. Wendell J. Montgomery, Skywatch Traffic.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew. The Supreme Court has rejected appeals from pharmaceutical companies that object to negotiating Medicare drug prices with the federal government.
The justices gave no comment in leaving in place rulings from the Federal Appeals Court in Philadelphia that dismissed the drug manufacturer's claims. The negotiation program was created as part of the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act. The law requires the government to negotiate prices for certain high-cost drugs in the federal insurance program.
And that is Marcela Sanchez reporting. Nextra Energy seeking to acquire Dominion Energy in an all-stock deal. It would be valued at about $67 billion, one of the biggest proposed mergers so far this year. It would create the world's biggest regulated electric utility business by market capitalization. Mixed bag on Wall Street at the closing bell. The Dow up 159, the Nasdaq down 134. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
Paid for by McGinnis for Alabama, 203 Investment Lane, Summerdale, Alabama, 36580.
Hillary! Hillary! I'm really feeling my pain. I sure could use a 5-point plan right now.
I'm Christina Warner McInnes, and we all need the 5-point plan for Alabama farms and families. Better food security. They should be able to buy Alabama rotisserie chicken with SNAP benefits, not margarita mix. Guide more farmers to the millions of dollars in grants they deserve. Protect our farmland from China and promote sweet-grown Alabama for tourism. We need more Alabama food on the plates of our schools and home. It's time to tell the politicians in Montgomery, same old is not working for us.
Christina Warner McInnes for Agriculture.
I haven't asked the big guy yet, but I have a feeling he'll like the plan.
This 5-point plan is huge, very special, and believe me, I know the 5-point plan. And all the other 5-point plans are horrible, probably made in China.
If you're struggling with ED or your performance is down and your belly fat is growing, listen up. You've got one life. Now is the time to act.
At Montgomery Men's Health, we're not just healthcare, we're your secret weapon. Don't wait another day. Here's why you need to act right now.
Every moment you delay, your condition could worsen. It's not just about sex, it's about your heart, your relationship, your life.
Montgomery Men's Health has years of proven results for ED and low T. We've introduced treatments so exclusive, you'll wonder why you waited.
Procrastination is the thief of time. When it comes to your sexual health, you can't afford to wait. Join the League of Gentlemen who've walked out of our doors with a swagger.
Call Montgomery Men's Health at 334-440-3663 or visit montgomerymenshealth.com. Book your $99 male performance consultation now. Dial 334-440-3663 or visit montgomerymenshealth.com. Montgomery Men's Health, making it happen.
This May 19th, vote for Jim Ziegler for Alabama Public Service Commission. Jim knows what to do.
Alabama has been targeted by massive data centers and solar farms. They can ruin your community and drive your electric bills up. No one in Montgomery is overseeing this. I'm Jim Ziegler, and I will serve as your watchman on the Public Service Commission.
Jim Ziegler knows how the Alabama Public Service Commission works, and he knows how to make it work for Alabama families.
I'm Jim Ziegler, the watchman. I've been traveling the state listening to the voters and your problem. Your power bill is too high. When I'm elected to the Public Service Commission, I will fight to lower your power bill. Vote for me, Jim Ziegler, the watchman for PSC.
On May 19th, vote for Jim Ziegler for Alabama Public Service Commission. Paid by Jim Ziegler Campaign, 3071 Teal Court, Mobile, Alabama.
2026 marks 60 years that hope has had a home in Alabama. At the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches, children who've lost everything through no fault of their own have found something priceless. A safe place to live, a loving Christian family, and the chance to simply be kids again. Here, boys and girls grow up surrounded by care, guidance, and faith, learning right from wrong, learning responsibility, learning they are valued and that their lives have purpose. As the Alabama Sheriffs have believed for 6 decades, it's easier to build boys and girls than to repair men and women. These former ranchers are now teachers, parents, business owners, and leaders, living proof that love, structure, and faith can change a life forever. As the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches celebrate 60 years of serving Alabama's children, you can help ensure the next child has the same chance. Learn how you can make a difference at alabamasheriffsyouthranches.org. 60 years of building lives, and we're just getting started.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
507.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Police say 3 men were killed in a shooting at a San Diego mosque Monday, and both suspects are dead. Both suspects are believed to be teenagers, and the case is considered to be a hate crime. The shooting happened at the Islamic Center of San Diego, the largest mosque in San Diego County. The Islamic Center is about 9 miles north of downtown San Diego in Claremont. The Islamic Center is the largest mosque in San Diego County according to its website. The campus includes the Al-Rashid School, and the website says offers courses in Arabic language, Islamic studies, and the Quran. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 159 points, the Nasdaq dropped 134, the S&P lower by 5. More details at srnnews.com.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
When I was feeling the stress of too much credit card debt, I looked at 2 different options, debt settlement and debt management. They may sound the same, but guess what? They're not. Debt settlement seemed like a quick fix, but I found out it would destroy my credit, create tax headaches, and hit me with huge fees. They actually told me to stop paying my bills. No way, not me. Then I turned to a debt management plan developed by the team at Trinity. They worked with my creditors, lowered my payments, reduced my interest, saved me thousands, and paid off my debt. And Trinity is a Christian company, which is important to me.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-936-5496.
My name is Heather. Please forget debt settlement and remember Trinity Debt Management.
1-800-936-5496.
Crazy day on the market today. Brett McDonald's going to join us in a minute to talk about that. I just saw a figure on Fox Business. Trump's disapproval is strong disapproval at 50%. He has got to do something. And the sad part of all this is that he had the economy, and Brett, I'm sure, would verify this, all indicators, lower inflation, all the numbers were going in the right direction. And then the Iran thing, which he may or may not have underestimated, but this has got to get done. Because, well, we talked about Harry Truman this morning. When Truman left office, his approval was 23%. Yet the passing of time and history remembers him in a much different way. Donald Trump needs to get this together and taken care of, because the Democrats on the other side are in disarray, and most of their voters, or at least half, strongly disapprove of them. So it's really weird to see these numbers flying back and forth. As far as the economy is concerned, we have, interest rates are going to be what they are. If you're waiting to venture into the housing market, why not partner up with people who are not going to pressure you, but consult you and make sure that you time your purchase right to take advantage of the best possible rates? That's Alabama Home Mortgage. You've heard about them for years here. This is a very much a familial business that likes to spend time with clients. It's not an impersonal 1-800 number you call. They're the folks that can help you strategize on the purchase of a home, whether you're interested immediately or down the road. They want you to do business with them, and I think it's a great idea. They're fantastic folks. You've heard Madeline and Kim and others on the air with us for years. They can help you with VA loans, which are great because they offer benefits like no down payment purchases, 100% cash out refinances. And, well, one of the biggest mistakes you can make without consulting the team at Alabama Home Mortgage is whether or not you can buy. Let them help you come to that conclusion. They'll be happy to spend the time with you. If you're not ready now, if now is not the right time, they'll be there for you when you are. So these are incredible people. We're glad to have them as a sponsor, and we hope that when the time comes, you will choose wisely. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Alabama Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender. Their NMLS number is 1586368. Tom Moore with Greg Budell and Brant McDonald coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Trust is the number one reason why a patient chooses a healthcare provider. Adams Drugs has been your trusted healthcare provider since 1962 and has been voted the number one pharmacy in the River region for many years. We strive each and every day to provide you the level of healthcare you have come to expect from Adams Drugs. The employees at Adams Drugs take pride in developing relationships with their patients, from making sure your prescriptions are filled correctly to getting to know you and your family's needs and following up on any questions you may have. Adams Drugs employees deliver top-notch service. We ask you to visit us at any of our locations in Montgomery, Prattville, Wetumpka, Millbrook, and Pine Level Marbury and give us a chance to earn your business. You can find us at adamsdrugs.net for the location that is nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local, independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Alabama weather will never fail to surprise you. Our lawns hardly get a chance to have any downtime, and as usual, it's already time to start getting ready for spring. This year, save the hard work and aggravation and call Alabama Lawns, the River Region's leader in weed control and fertilization services. What makes Alabama Lawns the River Region's best? It's the people. They have the experience, education, and commitment to customer satisfaction. Ask your neighbors. Alabama Lawns has been the Montgomery Advertiser's Reader's Choice Award winner 14 years in a row. The Alabama Lawn staff is made up of long-term employees and agronomy graduates, and the staff at Alabama Lawns attend annual continuing education classes. It pays to have someone that knows southern grass types and how to keep them green and flourishing. Call Alabama Lawns today at 272-7171 and let them show you real value in lawn maintenance service. Alabama Lawns, the company with black trucks and green lawns.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We've kind of jumped from a comfortable May pattern to more like a summer pattern. Partly cloudy tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 67 with the risk of a shower perhaps early. Tomorrow's high up to about 91. Lots of sunshine on Tuesday. Increasing humidity near 90 each day this week, right on through Friday. Scattered random spotty storms in the afternoon and evening hours Wednesday and Thursday. And a better chance, I think, Friday and Saturday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
It was a crazy day in the market. For the moment I walked in this morning, the Dow was down 400 points. By the time I left the morning show, it was in positive territory. I don't understand this, but the guy that does is Mr. Right on the Money, Brant McDonald from Invista Advisors. Hey, Brant.
Greg, hey, buddy. How are you, man?
I'm a little saddened to see that Trump is facing huge disapproval numbers, and on all things, the economy, which is the one thing I trust that he would really fix. But this Iran thing has really lasted much longer than he said it would, and the impacts are very personal now for people. I don't blame him for being angry.
Yeah, and the problem is becoming worse. If you look at one of the things we follow, Greg, over the years I've always mentioned 27 major indicators, and one of them is the Bloomberg Commodity Index, and it has broken out substantially to new highs. And the first thing someone might say is, well, okay, yeah, well, oil's up. Well, oil is not the biggest component in that thing. It's a part of it, but if you look at it, it's a whole host of other inputs that that are in that index, and as I said, it has broken out. And the thing that's concerning is that the Treasury bond yield. Look at the 10-year Treasury bond yield; it has been inching its way higher, but it is still way behind where that commodity index is. In other words, we like to look at the overlay of both of those charts, and what we're finding is not really good. I mean, typically 10-year bond yields over time track pretty consistently with the commodities index, and if it closes the gap, like I think it will, or potentially will, you could start to see inflation headline numbers in the 7% range.
Oh God!
Which would not be good.
No.
And now, to be clear, though, I do want to say this because I do think that it could be short-lived. A lot of this is the shock from the Iranian thing. A lot of it is pouring fuel on this economy. So what comes with that inflation also comes, pretty massive U.S. GDP growth. And, one of the things that we had mentioned from the very time that Trump got elected was that his game plan, one of the things he wanted to do to try to get out of debt was to run the economy hot. And we talked about how the way you do that is you keep the real rate of return higher than your short-term funding costs. And so, if you look at what he was saying to Jay Powell before the Iranian war, he wanted short-term rates lower. He wanted the real rate of return higher. And by doing that, you make the value of U.S. debt become worth less and less and less, and in real terms. But then the Iranian thing came along, and I know people think about oil and gasoline, and that makes perfect sense, but there are literally dozens and dozens of derivative offshoots that are tied to this, where you're seeing other spikes along the way, or along that trail. And then, as I've been saying, a lot of this is finding its way into the manufacturing process, particularly in Asia. All of those countries over there that we talk about, whether it's Malaysia, Singapore, Taiwan, Thailand, China, the list goes on and on. Those countries make things, in the U.S. Companies here, import those items and then mark from there to the consumer, and that those prices are becoming stickier and stickier. Now we have Kevin Warsh, who's who's being sworn in on Friday as the new Fed chair, and he faces a major dilemma because. I'll give you another thing. If you look at the 2-year Treasury bond yield, the 2-year yield is currently a little bit over 4%. You look at the federal funds rate's closer to 3.5%. What the 2-year Treasury bond market is telling you is that we're looking at 2 rate hikes of of a quarter of a point each because of this inflation thing. And so what we really need is we need that 2-year Treasury yield to come down, and we need these 10-year bond yields to come down. On Friday, we closed with pretty massive spike in all of them, the 30-year, the 10-year, and the 2-year. And again, I would say the one thing you want to be cautious about here is that if you do get a breakout in U.S. bond yields, the selling will be fast and furious because people want to lock in profits, particularly institutional portfolio managers, hedge fund managers, and so on, and they will unwind those trades very, very fast. The other thing I will add, a lot of times people like to compare the 10-year Treasury bond yield today to the way it was under Reagan or some of the others. And you cannot do that because the level of debt that we had in those periods of time as it relates to the size of the U.S. economy is not even comparable. It's not even close. I think when Reagan was president, it was something like in the 40s or maybe 50% of debt to GDP. You know, today we're at 120%, an all-time high. There's so much leverage in the system, particularly at the consumer level, so that a move from, say, 4.5% to 5-6%, the exponential impact that it has in a highly leveraged U.S. consumer economy is extremely profound. It just crushes the consumer because of all the debt, and it crushes the U.S. government because of all the debt and the level of budget deficits we have. So this is we've been talking about this for really the last year and a half, 2 years, where we are and where we're headed. And so, yes, Trump has got to get this thing under control. I mean, at this pace, if he doesn't, I really worry about the midterms, and I think it gets extremely difficult for him. So, but I did see where, it was being reported that, they had a meeting scheduled. They were going to be moving to the Situation Room tomorrow, that the U.S. military was preparing for a massive attack. And then it's being reported this afternoon here just recently that Qatar and some of the other countries in the region asked the president, please don't do this. They're now in negotiations with the IRGC, and they believe that they're in serious negotiations now. And so maybe we get somewhere. I hope. I don't know, but
2 to 4 weeks has become 2 to 4 months, and we've seen the damage at the pump, and then the other prices going up 7%. Wow, that's Joe Biden inflation. Did not sign up for that.
Yeah, and sadly, even if it ended today, it still takes, our best estimate is going to take at least 6 months to slow down. The train's already pulled out of the station. These energy prices, the whole supply chain process you go through becomes sticky. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, the rest of this week. But right now, everything's front and center with Iran, and hopefully we get resolution sooner than later.
Brant, we thank you for your time. As always, it was weird this morning watching the market down and up, down, then spending some time heading in the right direction. Let's hope we can have some more of that tomorrow. We will talk to you again on Tuesday.
All right. Sounds good, buddy. Y'all take care.
You too.
The opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The opinions expressed in this material do not necessarily reflect the views of LPL Financial. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice is offered through Invista Advisors, registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
Our most electrifying story of the day brought to you by Mr. Electric. This mass shooting in San Diego, they're calling it a hate crime.
Teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I'm not sure what the goal was. It's not quite clear, but
kids should be celebrating that school's over, enjoying their summer, and fortunately out shooting up.
Well, we've seen these teen takeovers. This has become a thing, too, and you can blame social media for some of that.
Those are unfortunate. It's kind of like swarms of drones, where it's like, from a military perspective, very hard to counter. And it's very hard for police when there's roving gangs of 200 kids. They're just overwhelmed. There's not much you can do to stop them. And it would be disheartening if you were a police officer on the streets and turned the corner and saw that... these happening.
Here's an interesting headline. Raffensperger was the Secretary of State in Georgia, where we know there were tons of shenanigans in the last several elections. He's going to tabulate the Georgia election results in a secret emergency bunker. That's how out of control it is there. And I remember Senator Tuberville telling us, he said, I know I'm working with at least 6 people who were elected illegitimately to this body.
Wow.
And I'm sure 2 of them are from next door. But you got weak Republican leadership there, too. We have too many Republicans who have no guts and apparently want no glory. They just want to go along. It's like Thune. What a waste. All right, and lots of races to watch tomorrow, not just those here, although I don't find myself passionately partisan. We got some good candidates.
Right.
I like some of the folks that Joey was talking to today. I used to do a lot of it. I've done one up till now and doing one more. Carol Cook Carter, who is a candidate for Place 5 on the ballot in Elmore County. We're going to be talking to her by phone around 5:35. So
excellent.
We'll hit the traffic dungeon. Come back.
Well, we have traffic building as folks are getting off work. We're pretty busy on the boulevards, Taylor Road, I-65 and 85 beginning to really build. And we have one accident from earlier, Atlanta Highway at Taylor Road with injuries. They could possibly still be on the scene there. Please watch out. We will keep you updated if any new accidents happen. Keep it here for updates. Upgrade your home with Davis Door and Sash, your trusted source for replacement windows and doors. Save 10% on materials when you mention this ad. Visit DavisDoorandSashAlabama.com or call 334-288-6010. Buckle up, Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch Traffic.
We all know what the career politicians do when an outsider takes them on. It happened to President Trump. As soon as he started winning, the lies and the desperate attacks started. Now they're going after Jared Hudson because the career politicians know he'll drain the swamp, and he's winning. Jared Hudson is a decorated Navy SEAL sniper. He started a small business to train law enforcement and a nonprofit that fights human traffickers. Jared's a 7th-generation Alabamian, husband and father, running for Senate on the America First platform, securing our elections, deporting criminals, protecting children, and hitting the career politicians where it hurts. Term limits, stock trading bans, and if they don't pass a budget, they don't get paid. No wonder the insiders are scared. Jared Hudson for U.S. Senate. Alabama Conservatives is responsible for the content of this advertising. Paid for by Alabama Conservatives. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.alabamaconservativespac.com.
We get a lot of questions about what all we handle at Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. I'm Hannah Grantham.
And I'm Eddie Bader, and we will handle all of your real estate needs.
We handle all your buying and selling needs, from your first home, next home, land, investment property, and even commercial properties.
We do it all and have the experience that shows you what makes us different.
So when you think real estate, think Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. Look us up on Facebook or give us a call at 334-368-6358. And let us show you who you have on your sign matters.
Alabama needs a fighter for Attorney General, and that's Katherine Robertson. She passed the toughest gang law in the country and made violent criminals serve longer sentences. As Attorney General, she'll stand with President Trump to deport violent illegals. Endorsed by sheriffs from Huntsville to Mobile, Alabama firefighters, and the NRA, Katherine will fight for Alabama families from day one. Tough, tested, conservative. Vote Katherine Robertson for Attorney General on May 19th.
Paid for by Robertson for Attorney General, P.O. Box 530063, Birmingham, Alabama 35253.
At Blue Water Broadcasting, we believe great advertising starts with relationships. That's why so many local business owners trust us, not just for radio, but for digital too. If you're already running digital advertising and you're not seeing results, it may be time to explore your options. Our team takes the time to understand your business, then builds custom campaigns using a multi-channel conversion-focused approach. So whether it's digital display, social media, or you need help increasing your online presence, Blue Water Broadcasting can help. Before your next campaign, let's have a conversation. Visit BlueWaterBroadcasting.com.
Do you suffer every time you try to wear good-looking shoes, but you don't want to wear ugly shoes just because they're comfortable? The Good Feet store wants to help you wear heels, boots, and dress shoes again in comfort.
We're located at 7341 East Chase Parkway in the shops at East Chase. Now hiring.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
If you or a loved one are suffering from graduation, Gradexa could help.
Gradexa!
Twice daily Gradexa fights the symptoms of graduation like futurelessness, spontaneous backpacking fantasies, and unpaid internships. In clinical studies, Gradexa helped graduates pretend they have a 5-year plan. Side effects include crippling debt, podcast ambitions, moving to Austin, referring to oneself as a content creator, and relocating to one's childhood bedroom. Don't operate heavy machinery on Gradexa because you were a theater major.
Gradexa, turning panic into manageable disappointment.
Gradexa. Hey, graduate, it's either this or a garbage bag full of dank Mexican donkey weed.
Gradexa.
Ask your parents if Gradexa is right for you.
5:31 on News Talk 93.1 FM. In a few minutes, we're going to talk to Carol Cook Carter, a candidate for Circuit Court. I think it's place 5. But we'll get the straight info. Very impressive resume, experience, education, and Auburn grad. So we'll see what she has to say and why she will be looking for those of you who are voting in her district to put her on the bench. I got to admit, as much as I enjoy David, the Idiocracy, and there's so many things that are breaking the way I'd like him to break, but the big frickin' thing in the middle is Iran and gas prices. And not a lot of hope in what Brandt had to say either about it.
Yeah. I'm telling you, this week is breaking point. Something will happen this week. It will go one way or the other.
Well, now they were planning an attack tomorrow, but talked out of it. Is that how
talked out of it. They think there's some serious concessions. I don't have any hope. I think the Iranians are finally realizing that, like, hey, this is not going to end well for them either which way. If they keep negotiating, they're going to economically suffer. If they stop negotiating militarily, they're going to suffer more, which is going to be infrastructure. So I just pray that they capitulate, surrender, and let's get this show back on the road.
We will look forward to Carol Cook Carter coming up right now. Oops.
It's Monday.
You can't double strike the traffic button if you want to hear the report. So let me hit the reset button. I did it right that time. Jeez. Skipper, say.
Well, we're busy around the area this afternoon. We got a lot of cars on the boulevards, the interstates, a lot of folks getting off work, but no real issues anywhere at the moment. That is a good thing. Now, we did have an accident earlier. Atlanta Highway at Taylor Road. We're hoping that one is out of the way now. Use caution as you approach that intersection just in case. And keep it here. We will update you when accidents happen. Get $1,000 customer cash on Camrys at McKinnon Toyota. At the lowest tax rates in Alabama, and it's worth the drive. McKinnon Toyota, exit 212 off I-65 in Clinton. Buckle up, Wendell J. Montgomery, Skywatch Traffic.
A man who's done a fantastic job, Sheriff Matt Gentry. Thank you.
When Alabama families needed protecting, Matt Gentry answered the call. For nearly 30 years as a Marine, a deputy, and now the Sheriff of Coleman County, he's stood between us and danger. Now, Matt is taking that same no-nonsense approach to the Public Service Commission to stand up for Alabama ratepayers and fight back against liberal green energy agendas that threaten our way of life.
From small farms to front porches, people deserve someone that will fight for them, someone who understands them and understands their struggles. I'm Matt Gentry. I'm asking for your prayers, your support, and your vote for the Public Service Commission.
Because Alabama doesn't need more politics. It needs a sheriff.
Paid for by Gentry for PSC. P.O. Box 655, Coleman Avenue, 35056.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Vaughan Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Clark Heating, Air and Plumbing. It's time to schedule your spring tune-up with Clark Heating, Air and Plumbing. Don't wait. Schedule today. Give them a call at 334-277-2125. Alabama certification number 88007.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We've kind of jumped from a comfortable May pattern to more like a summer pattern. Partly cloudy tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 67 with the risk of a shower perhaps early. Tomorrow's high up to about 91. Lots of sunshine on Tuesday. Increasing humidity near 90 each day this week, right on through Friday. Scattered random spotty storms in the afternoon and evening hours Wednesday and Thursday. And a better chance, I think, Friday and Saturday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
And welcome back. Greg Budell and Tom Moore welcoming Carol Cook Carter to our show this afternoon. Carol, glad to have you on this afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
What's it like on primary eve, an election tomorrow? Is this your first public office?
This is. It's my first time to run for public office, and as of right now, my husband and I have driven about 250 miles today.
Wow.
Putting out signs at polling places.
Well, here's a chance to do something a little bit more profound and tell us why you're hoping to transition from private practice to the position you're seeking, which is the 19th Circuit Judge, Place 5.
Correct.
And
I just look at this as another opportunity to serve the citizens of Autauga, Chilton, and Elmore County. I have served them for the last 26 years as an attorney in private practice. And when we were awarded 2 additional judicial seats because of the number of cases that are heard in our circuit, I just saw this as an opportunity to change my focus a little and serve in a different way.
And tell us about some of the experience you have that's prepped you to feel confident about taking on this position.
Sure. Early on, I worked in the Attorney General's office under Attorney General Bill Pryor in capital litigation, representing the state of Alabama. I also interned for District Attorney Ellen Brooks in Montgomery County years ago. So that was kind of my earliest criminal experience. Once I went into private practice, after I graduated from law school and went into private practice, I just saw I didn't really have the temperament to do criminal defense, because one of the things that I'm running on is I believe people should take responsibility for their behavior.
That would be nice.
Yes.
Yes. Whether it's in civil cases or criminal cases. We are adults, and we should be held responsible for our behavior. So I didn't continue criminal defense for a long time, but again, representing criminal defense and presiding over a criminal trial are 2 entirely different skill sets. So I do have that background. Now, I have spent the majority of my private practice doing family law, probate law, and representing children, because children are always given their own guardian ad litem, their own attorney, in abuse and neglect cases, and then they are often given their own attorney in divorce cases when the parents become so embroiled and so bitter towards each other that the judge feels like the children need their own person speaking for their best interest. So that's what I do a lot of now.
Nice. I like the focus of accountability. We always talk about how people just seem like they're free-range chickens these days, doing whatever they want with little repercussions. Talk to me about the purview of cases in the 19th District. So what kind of stuff, if you get elected, would you be overseeing?
Okay, Circuit Court handles 3 major divisions of cases. That is felony crimes, civil suits over $20,000, where the amount in controversy is $20,000 or more, and domestic relations cases. Also, they handle appeals from the lower courts, but again, those 3 major divisions are domestic relations, civil controversy over $20,000, and felony crimes.
Wow. It seems like never a boring day. There would be no monotony. And I know you said they added 2 seats. How many total judges are in that circuit court?
Okay, so in circuit court, we currently have 4.
Okay.
Places 1, 2, and 3 hear all of those cases that I just mentioned. Place 4 was designated by the legislature as a domestic relations judge. So place 4 primarily hears domestic relations cases. Place 5 is going to be a general jurisdiction, again, hearing all the cases as needed.
And then how long would your appointment be for?
The election cycle for circuit judges every 6 years.
Okay.
I have to ask you this because one interesting thing about this primary is that the top ballots, first of all, I've had trouble getting getting the kind of feedback from listeners, whether they want to talk about this candidate or that candidate. But don't you face a particularly unique challenge in that by the time people get to these judicial votes, they may not know who you are. The average individual is not that invested or taking the time to research and pick a candidate. How do you fight that? What is your strategy to get people to remember your name when they go to vote tomorrow?
Well, my strategy was I started early. I literally started campaigning and doing prep work for campaigning in October of 24. So I have been at this for 18 months because I felt that strongly about it. And then I understand this is not a statewide election, but if you live, in that Tri-County area, your judges have a direct impact on your life, especially if you fall in those categories that we talked about earlier.
Yes.
So I started very early, participating in a lot of campaign events first, just as Carol Carter, attorney at law, so that, I could familiarize myself and make myself familiar to the Tri-County area. And then once we got into the campaign season over a year ago, I was full force then. So, for instance, we did 11 Christmas parades in 2025. We did 3 Christmas parades in one day.
Well, because we're running out of time, I wanted to ask you, you've had a very impressive ground game. Well, what are the voters telling you? What are they concerned about? Are you worried about voter enthusiasm, or do you think it'll be there tomorrow?
Well, I think it's kind of sad that our probate judges who are in charge, who are our election officials for each county, are telling us to expect 27 to 31% voter turnout tomorrow.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's kind of sad.
Well, the last mayoral election in Montgomery had less than 20% turnout.
But we have 100% of people complaining about it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So, I've what I have heard from my constituency over the last year and a half, and even over the last number of years as an attorney, I took those complaints, those kind of common complaints that I heard, and I made those my 3 talking points for my campaign. And that is, if I am elected as your circuit judge, every party will get a chance to be heard.
Yeah.
So that it's not a deal made between attorneys. If a party wants to talk to me as their judge, they are going to get that opportunity. Second of all, as I mentioned earlier, every party is going to be held accountable for their behavior, whether it's good or bad. And then third, the parties will be helped to find a workable solution going forward. And those are my 3 commitments if I'm elected to serve the 19th Circuit as their next circuit judge.
Carol Cook Carter, impressive resume. I've enjoyed getting to know you over the phone. Very impressive campaign. This is for the 19th Circuit Court Judge, Place 5, Carol Cook Carter. And if you like what you hear, remember that and get to a poll tomorrow and vote. And we wish you luck. I really do.
Thank you so much. I have appreciated the opportunity to share with you this afternoon.
I'm glad we were able to get you in on the day before Election Day. All the best to you, Carol, and to your family.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Take care. All right, we've got Sky with some Blue Water News at 5:45.
News is brought to you by Bath Innovations. Call Bath Innovations today to schedule your free in-home consultation.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. Montgomery police continue to investigate a shooting that left 2 people dead Friday night. MPD responded to the 2900 block of Simmons Drive just before midnight, where a woman was pronounced dead from a gunshot wound. A man at the scene had sustained a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He was taken to an area hospital where he later died. No further information has been made available. New details have emerged regarding the death of a 24-year-old man on Lake Martin. It was initially reported that Jaden Barreto was seen jumping off Chimney Rock, after which he did not resurface. Elmore County Sheriff Bill Franklin is now confirming that the victim jumped into the water from a boat he was riding in with friends. Barreto was attempting to swim to Chimney Rock when he went under and did not resurface. A Montgomery man was hospitalized after being shot early Sunday morning. MPD responded to the 4500 block of South Court Street just after 5 a.m. where the unidentified man had been wounded by gunfire. The victim was transported to a nearby hospital in serious condition. No further details have been made available. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
Bath Innovations of Alabama can replace your old bathtub with a low-step shower featuring built-in seating, secure grab bars, and slip-resistant flooring, often installed in as little as 1 day. Call Bath Innovations of Alabama today to schedule your free in-home consultation.
Stanley spent his life in the saddle, wrangling whatever life threw at him. But nothing prepared him for the fight against low T and ED. Shane practically hunched him over. Online pills just gave him a headache. He begged for a lifeline.
Well, maybe it's over.
Montgomery Men's Health said no. Medical conditions, old age, there's hope. This is about real treatments. Science, not one-size-fits-all guesswork. Montgomery Men's Health was designed for men who hate going to the doctor. Personalized plans, cutting-edge treatments, overseen by an actual urologist and providers that take the time to listen. With low T and ED treatments others only dream about, we fight like hell to get you back in the saddle. Because every second you wait, your condition could worsen. Act now. Don't let time slip away. Dial 334-440-3663 or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com. Your consultation is only $99, including blood work. And you know your T level before you leave. Montgomery Men's Health. Making it happen.
Paid for by McGinnis for Alabama, 203 Investment Lane, Summerdale, Alabama, 36580.
Hillary! Hillary! I'm really feeling my pain. I sure could use a 5-point plan right now.
I'm Christina Warner McInnes, and we all need the 5-point plan for Alabama farms and families. Better food security. They should be able to buy Alabama rotisserie chicken with SNAP benefits, not margarita mix. Guide more farmers to the millions of dollars in grants they deserve. Protect our farmland from China and promote sweet-grown Alabama for tourism. We need more Alabama food on the plates of our schools and home. It's time to tell the politicians in Montgomery, same old is not working for us.
Christina Warner McInnes for Agriculture.
I haven't asked the big guy yet, but I have a feeling he'll like the plan.
This 5-point plan is huge, very special. And believe me, I know the 5-point plan. And all the other 5-point plans are horrible, probably made in China.
Congressman Barry Moore has always delivered for Alabama. As a member of the House Freedom Caucus, Barry Moore earned a score of 100 from Heritage Action for protecting our values. He's helped thousands of Alabama families, fought for our veterans as a veteran himself, and secured millions for infrastructure, first responders, and public safety. Barry Moore helped pass Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, delivering tax cuts for hardworking Alabama families, and stood strong to secure our borders. Now, Barry is taking that fight to the United States Senate. Barry Moore will defend our freedoms, defend the Second Amendment, protect our children, stand up for parents, and keep boys out of girls' sports while continuing to cut taxes and lower prices. Endorsed by President Trump, Barry Moore is a proven conservative Alabama can trust.
I'm Congressman Barry Moore. I've rolled up my sleeves in Congress, and I'll keep fighting for Alabama in the U.S. Senate. I'm Barry Moore, a conservative fighter, and I approve this message.
Approved and paid for by Barry Moore for U.S. Senate.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is not headline news. Gas prices in Los Angeles are approaching $9 a gallon. The price is so high, Keanu Reeves took the bus for the first time since Speed. Britney Spears was spotted screaming, barking, and clutching a knife at an LA restaurant. Britney, that's no way to act at a restaurant. Save it for an Instagram video. Kris Jenner says Ozempic makes her sick. Right back at ya, responded Ozempic. And in sports, Aaron Rodgers will play for the Steelers again. So at least we know one thing about his mystery wife. She must be annoying to be around. This is not headline news.
Well, we have had quite the afternoon here, haven't we, Tom Moore?
It has. It's been good.
Love working with David because we cover some really great topics, and I love his insights and his experience and guidance. You know, you can on many occasions I've seen a poll that had a number that really, and he's hack poll. There's about 3 that he trusts. So when he gives polling data and an opinion on it, it's something that's been consistently accurate. Tomorrow's going to be an interesting day, but I think it's actually going to be more interesting in other places to me than here. Now, in Chicago, I just saw this. She called out the commissioners, I believe this is Cook County, Illinois, and at a hearing, and I want to hear what she's had it with the crap. All right. Now what do we have? Who else is talking here? All right. We got another source on the air. Got to watch that. Hey, did you get a chance to take a look at the Smoky Notes menu?
Yeah, it looks phenomenal, especially when I'm hungry. So I'm going to go check it out.
Yeah, we're going to do a listener event at Smoky Notes in the very near future.
It looks like they're open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. too. So that's you can go there and go for lunch, go for dinner, stay for drinks.
Full bar. All right, I believe I've eliminated the other annoying nuisance source, and now we can listen to this woman.
Touche. Amen.
She's 100% right. This is a media creation. Every time I hear that, voters, what are you talking about? That's 95% of the BS that was spewed in front of the Capitol building by AOC and the rest of the crack pottery that came to visit Montgomery. Yeah, we're all out to stop you from voting. Good Lord. We may be advocating that you consider a different line of thinking, but that's what it's all about, isn't it? Come up with some ideas. And I really think between these, the end of the racist districting to guarantee particular outcomes for what? What has that produced in a positive way? I'm not seeing it. Anyway, we'll have a lot to learn on it tomorrow. This will be our final traffic update with Skipper, with Greg and Tom.
Well, we hope everybody is having a great ride home this afternoon. Traffic light to mostly moderate, a little busy in some areas, but we're not really hearing of any issues. Montgomery, Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka, just some busy afternoon traffic at times. Right now, we're looking pretty good all over the area. Keep it here, and we